Tonight on the Black Channel, yet again another Black Channel tradition. On tonight's program, I am glad and thankful once again to be gathered with our brothers and our sisters from all around the world as we take a look backwards. I don't really celebrate these kind of days or whatever arbitrarily given to me by other people. However, it is an opportunity to take a look backwards over things and to also take a look forward. And this tonight will be no different. So I'd like to thank you all and welcome you all here. Shout out to everyone there in the super chat there, to Dionysus. Thank you. We're very glad to have you with us here tonight. To Wayne Dowdridge. Thank you very much here as well. We appreciate that. And a lot I want to go over here tonight. A lot I want to go over. I know we are dealing with our trials and our tribulations. I know that a lot has happened for all of you. Some of you have spoken about these things. Some of you have not. And I want to take a moment here to reflect on those of you who have done the right thing, even when there was no one to pat you on the back for it. Maria Trotman, hadn't seen Maria here in a bit. Hello, Maria. And to everyone here tonight, I want you all to know that I'm not just happy to be with you. I am honored to be with you. It has been my honor and been my privilege that you made me your anchor man of the new black media. I did not do that myself. I didn't choose me. That's not a title I put on myself. That is something that was given to me by the people. And I have tried to the best of my ability to be worthy of that, to make sure I try to lead by example, and to make sure that I've given you something that you can be proud of. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of sacrificing, but I have always thought that that's the level of sacrifice you are willing to put into it. So it's incumbent on me just to be worthy of that. And I am hopeful that I have at least been half what you expected, much less needed. So I am honored and privileged and humbled to be here with you all again, yet again, for another New Year's Eve going into the next year. Not all of us are still here, but we are all still here together one way or the other. Now, what we're going to do here first is we are going to take a look back. We're going to take a look back over the last year here. So this year we're doing a year in review. As you can all see and tell here. Man, and has it been one? Has it been one here? Whole lot going on. And folks, we were talking about different things. When you're going into this year, when you take a look back over it, and I'm actually going to go back a little bit further. When we go back to when Trump got elected. So we're going all the way back in the end of 2024. Oh, losing the black vote cost the election. Who do the Democrats blame for losing? Where did the Democrats go wrong? Now, people, remember, if we were just making things up, can you imagine how disastrous looking back on all of this would be? You see, other YouTube channels, other so-called media people, they don't do a year in review so they can let the people who listen to them know, by the way, were you even right about anything you said? Much less do you have a consistency of it. So going back to the election, people, that's why I'm showing you Beyonce and Tyler Perry and how the celebs nagged the black vote, and Cardi B and I Never Moved and Never Wavered, BET's Black Men's Summit, Black Lame Summit. Folks, if we were not on the money, looking back now, these things just look funny. It looks hilarious looking back now. Kamala had no reparations, no investigation. We warn you. No reparations, just investigations. Kamala has a problem with black men. Folks, now in retrospect, it looks ominous. In retrospect, it looks damning. In retrospect, it's sobering. At the time, you had people arguing with us, remember? Telling us we didn't know what we were talking about. Telling us we're just making it up. Telling us that it's not going to be relevant. Telling us we were going to be wrong. You don't hear any of those voices today. They've been silenced. Don't worry. They'll eventually try to creep back up, but notice you can't find them anymore. Obama bullying black male voters. How did that turn out, people? How did this age? How did these things age, people? When you take a look back over it, I am proud to go back over my program. I am proud to go back over my program and my broadcast and the subjects and the take that we had and the positions that we took. I am proud to go back over those. Don't expect that from Rolling the Bowling Ball. Don't expect him to go back over his. It doesn't go well. Who do the Democrats blame for losing? As I predicted it would be. All of us here said why she was going to lose the election, and it happened exactly the way we said. Rolling the bowling ball and the academics and the folks who were going to get fired from MSNBC and everything else, and it didn't work out well for them. They made all kinds of prognostications and predictions, and yeah, it went disastrously. Did the Democrats learn the lessons from the election? What did I say? Hell no. They're not going to learn a damn thing. They're going to just say, keep on course. Stay the course. That's what they're going to do. I said losing one election is not going to stop them because they are committed to fighting us. So they didn't change anything. Kamala Harris campaign admits it paid off the old black media. What? Oh, yeah. Man, the folks, when it rained, it poured. When it rained, it poured. After all these years, yeah, Roland isn't just with them sliding him slips of paper for the debates. Yeah, he's on the payroll. He's full-fledged on the payroll. And that explains why you can't find out anything or learn anything from him except what not to do. The election has emboldened white extremists. We warned about that with Daniel Penny and others. I said this is emboldened the white extremists. But don't worry, because by the time we get into 2025, that becomes an albatross around their necks. The No Thanksgiving Day program from 2024. So like I say, tonight's program is so big, we had to go all the way back into 2024. What do we expect from Trump? What do we expect him to do for us? You already know the answer to that is what he's going to do to other people. That was the more relevant thing, is what he was going to do to them. So, man, and some folks thought that we were going to be wrong or we were going to be scared. Y'all niggas going to be sorry. Are we sorry yet, y'all? Hey, folks, are any of you sorry yet? Roland told us we were going to be sorry, remember? The only one been crying is him. Are any of you sorry yet? Are any of you in despair yet? Are any of you despondent yet? How many of you are depressed? How many of you regret your actions last November? Who in here regrets their actions last November? If you regret what you did last November, give me the sad face emoji in the chat room. If you regret what you did last November, whether you supported Trump or whether you didn't vote at all, if you are sorry for what you did last November, give me the sad face, the crying face emoji in the chat room. But if you are cool as ice with what you did last November, give me the black fist emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. It's over 1,300 people in here live in just the first few minutes. But if you are proud of your actions and you still stand by them a year later, give me the black fist emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. If you still stand by what you did last year and you have no regrets. After I talked about what do we expect from Trump, something that will become very familiar. Illegals on the run begging us for help. Oh man, y'all, do you notice what a difference one election makes? All of a sudden, the boot-licking ass kissers who were telling us what they wasn't gonna do and what we wasn't gonna do and what wasn't gonna happen and all that shucking and jiving and playing, and I'll be damned, that went out the damn window. All that back talk, all those Twitter spaces back talking, all those Twitter spaces thinking they were clowning. Who got clowned now? Them talking about what wasn't going to occur. We ain't gonna get deported. Here come the planes, trains, and automobiles. The mascots of the white supremacists, of course. The only way the U.S. can stop illegals, which is what I said from the very beginning. I've been saying it for years and years. And, of course, things are not working out on that front to the extent that they could be because you're not getting at the problem at the source. You're not hitting the problem at the source, and because you're not hitting the problem at the source, you're not actually dealing with the problem. Caitlin Clark would not toe the white supremacist line, so the white supremacists tried to haze her. It didn't work out so well. I pointed out that the GOP is repeating the Democrats' mistakes. People, I so understated that. That statement that they're repeating the Democrats' mistakes, that was such an understatement. That was such an incredible understatement. The Democrats at war with each other. Okay, how did that go, by the way? The party still doesn't have a leader to this day. They're just running on the, well, we're not Trump. There is not a leader of the party to this day. They are still in disarray. Fat Joe dissing FBA and TBA backfires. This is when I became the foundational black authority.
Deal with it, nigga.
This is when I became the foundational black authority. According to Fat Joe let everybody know that when he says those words, he identified that I was the person he'd been watching. I'm the one he's been looking at. And whoever he is, this foundational black authority. Okay. Folks, they listen to us. They hope that we'll just disappear or go away. But the bottom line is, if you are not here, you're not where they're listening to. They know that we have our finger on the pulse of the street. They know they don't. Yeah, this is what it's about. And by the way, if Harris had not lost that election, just think about it. Just think about it. We had our Christmas program. Oh man, right after last Christmas. Remember, right after last Christmas. So about this time last year, Vivek got his wake-up call. And I told everyone what was going to happen, that he would be the first one voted off the island. Did I call it? Some folks hate it when I say, that nigga always right. Okay, well, shouldn't you be happy you have a reliable source here? You bragging! I'm reporting the news. Why are you upset? Did I call it? I hate him! Did I call it? Or did I call it? I called it back then. I targeted and zeroed in on Vivek back then because it was obvious. You're going to be the first one out. And he was. I also said he thought he was running for president. He wasn't. He thinks he's running for governor of Ohio. I said it back then before he ever announced. I said he thinks he's going to run for governor of Ohio. He got another thought there coming too. Why New York is a big problem, the murder of Robert Brooks. Robert Brooks literally lynched, murdered, beaten to death on camera, not in the antebellum South, not in the segregationist South, but in New York. In the words of Malcolm X, to show you that these white supremacists up here in New York are no different from those white supremacists down there. no matter what you might want to deceive yourself into believing. 2025, I said the black agenda going forward. So 365 days ago, as we began marching into 2025, while other people were walking around talking about we are under the boot of Donald Trump, and oh, they were just all sorry and despondent and all this old nonsense. That wasn't our issue. That was never our perspective. That was never our issue. We have been good with it the whole time. Tethers, FBAs, and black unity. So I talked about this before to put it in its proper perspective at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of this year. Who are the black political leaders? Don't have any. Calling out New York. You all remember I had to make the trip up there myself. I paid for electronic billboards. We started applying the pressure because New York was ignoring the murder of Robert Brooks. They were, right after Trump gets in office, folks started showing their true stripes, and we had to make sure that they understood we are watching. And we continue to do so. So shout out to everyone who was a part of that. We had programs during the day. This is what I meant by we didn't ease off the gas. We put our foot on it. We slammed our foot on the gas after that and got results, as you all see. Because they were going to let those folk walk. I need you all to understand. They were going to let those cops walk. They were testing, or those prison officers, they were testing letting those prison officers walk. They were testing letting them off the hook, like Daniel Pantaleo killing this man on video, and they were just going to give them a slap on the wrist. Do not tell yourself that the McMichaels were an isolated case. They've been sitting up here trying to test the waters and see if they can stress test whether or not they can get away with doing it again. So keep that in mind. Those are not accidental. It is not accidental when they do that kind of thing. They want to test to see, well, can we get away with it? And if we don't say anything, that's exactly what they're going to do. Cable TV Negroes want to be black again when convenient. It didn't work out for them, so Jason Whitlock had to get back to full-time professional cooning. It didn't go well at all for him. Didn't go well at all for him and others. By the time Nick Fuentes comes to jumping back up again, oh man, it is hell on wheels for all of them. A bunch of them thought they were going to find a seat for themselves at Master's table. It didn't go that way at all. Not at all. Pushing for our own rules. I've spent a lot of time this year reminding people that our fate is going to be what we make of it. The politicians will respond to what we do. We don't look to them for leadership. We have to make our own rules, our own rationales for what we do and how we do it. We have to have our own rationales and take power on our own terms. Trump's second term begins. What comes next? I told you all what comes next, and go back and listen to that program. It unfolded exactly the way we told you. The Dr. King Day broadcast, another tradition here. Oh, look, anti-Semitic Musk has racist do flip-flop. Yep, all of a sudden, the Jews didn't have anything. These ADL, these Jewish organizations didn't have anything to say to Elon. All of a sudden, didn't have anything to say. Oh, well. Deportations begin. Illegals panic. By the way, folks, was that a momentary thing? Did that just come and go? Or did that become the new normal with everyone and their mama looking to us to run interference for them, and it will not happen? This is about the plane crash there at Reagan International Airport, the Black Hawk that got hit by the jetliner. Trump's DEI race bait backfires instantly, but I did warn them then. MAGA blames white women for the D.C. plane crash. Boy, they thought the first ones to get hit would be everybody else. They didn't imagine that they would be amongst the first to go. They didn't imagine that would be the case, but there it is. We didn't identify this later. I identified this from the very beginning. It wasn't just me going into hysterics. It wasn't me saying something that didn't work out. This panned out precisely the way we said it would. And they've been targeting them ever since. When they say DEI, they mean DE white women. Democrats are a geriatric freak show. Now, I've been spending 2 decades telling you about the old folks. The Democrats are just now having a conversation about the old guard and the need to remove them. Something that I've been talking about for literally decades. It's only when the young would-be upstarts couldn't rise and couldn't get over, now all of a sudden they want to talk about this generational issue. You can't say respect your elders and then say, by the way, there's a generational issue. You're going to have one or the other. Are we being too hardline? Folks started asking about are we being too hardline? Y'all being too divisive. Have we taken our foot off the gas of it? I was the one who said it to you all going on 2 decades ago, that if unity means joining hands with coons and traitors and cowards, then to hell with unity.
And deal with it, nigga.
I said that going on 2 decades now. If that's your definition of unity, is I got to join hands with our traitors and our backstabbers and cowards, then to hell with your definition of unity. I don't want unity. I want empowerment. And if your definition of unity is an obstacle to our empowerment, then to hell with unity. Black History Month symbolism, we talked about that. No, we don't care. And Trump has done so great. Anybody who's come near him is just radioactive at this point. Oh, man, the Joy Reid show gets canceled. Damn! Oh, boy, Trump comes into office and Joy Reid goes out. Just that quickly. By the way, folks, has she become a major YouTuber yet? Since she came over on our side of the fence, by the way, has Joy Reid become a major YouTuber yet? Or has she gone the same way as Native Podcast and Native Land Pod? How'd that work out for Joy, y'all? How many Joy Reid viewers do I have in here tonight? How many Joy Reid viewers I got in here tonight? Let me know. Do the Democrats have a plan? Do you all notice I keep banging on that? The old guard, they're at war with each other. Do the Democrats even have a plan? Hell no. Hell no. Do we trust Donald Trump? From the very beginning, I wanted to remind people, do not get it twisted. I am firmly focused on our principles. We do not trust him. He's not a friend. We don't expect him to do anything positive for us. What he's going to do, however, we're getting out of the business of running obstacles. So we're not going to be an obstruction to him anymore. We're going to let him run wild, which is exactly what he's done. Do the old government Negroes get it? And we've seen how that's happened. Bloody Sunday, 60 years later. Will podcasting save Democrats? Folks, how's that worked out? How is trying to come over onto our side of the fence and reinvent themselves in the new media? How has that worked out for the Democrats, folks? I mean, they done sent Jamie Harrison and Michelle Obama, and how's that worked out? DA Fannie Willis forced to pay. She had to pay some fines. We saw how that happened. Trump gets reelected and she's out the door. George Foreman had to do a program memorializing him. Can the young Democrats beat the old guard? Folks, how's that going so far? How's that going so far? AOC standing next to Bernie Sanders. Baby, you standing next to the old guard. So you can't complain about the old guard and you're standing right next to them. Trump is deporting black citizens.
Nigga, please.
Okay, yeah. Some of the folks who were subject to getting deported, Roland Martin, they're going to get you. Okay, folks, have they gotten us yet? Roland Martin said that Trump was going to deport all of us. Has he gotten us yet, folks? Did he get any of us yet? The Black Democrats' hypocrisy on tariffs, we covered that. The Carmelo Anthony case, oh boy, they were big mad over that. Old media crash out and thirst trapping, so Megyn Kelly and Matt Walsh banging on each other. Angela Rye and her podcast part Tiffany Cross. I'm like, oh boy, what they say. Look here, if this don't get views, nothing will. All right. Black lawyers are a problem. I stand on it. Speaking of black lawyers being the problem, Letitia James. Damn! Oh, and here's one. The alt-right, the white supremacist alt-right, mad at Carmelo Anthony defending himself. And with Charlie Kirk sitting there attacking the young man, it's like, Charlie, you could have lived those years better. Judges arrested helping illegals. So let me tell you, you haven't seen a judge who was willing to throw caution to the wind for us. We show up every damn day. By the way, she's been convicted, so congratulations. Attacking the young black male. So here come, yo, I'm rocking with yous and you rocking with me's. And okay. We've been telling you all for years, don't bring us the damn white street dudes. Don't bring us anybody you brought to the damn barbecue. I don't have a seat for them. You might be fooled. I'm not. Spencer Cornelia just started dropping his mask here a few days ago. By the way, he's put out a video here talking about Minnesota and just the full white supremacist alt-right talking points about that. So there's always these little short, weird dudes, but in any case, yeah, don't bring me any of these folk here. If you got some white YouTuber, whether it's Trap Laura Ross or any of the rest of them, white YouTubers talking about black folk all the time, that is straight hate. They're the majority of the population. They got a whole community of their own. They spend day and night talking about us. That's not innocuous. That's not looking for content. These are all open white supremacists or low-key white supremacists, but they're all white supremacists. Just understand that. So don't bring me any of these YouTubers make whole channels talking about black people, either in sports, music, entertainment, politics. I got no room for any of them. You got a whole society you come from. If you don't have enough content about white people running scams, I can bring you 5 of those a day at numbers that dwarf ours by orders of magnitude. You want to talk about a scam? Let's take a look at Elon Musk. You'll be here all damn day. You want to talk about a scam? Take a look at the Fortune 500. Whole corporations built on scamming. And you sitting over here talking about folks getting peanuts. White corporations, white men running off with tens of billions. And you talking about you have a channel where you find some black folk who got 10,000. Those folks end up in court. The white men he's talking about don't. So why don't we talk about that? So don't you be deceived. Now, I pointed out all this way back then that Israel is causing right-wing civil war. I called it from the very beginning. I called it from the very start. I was saying this from the very beginning, and actually I was saying it before then. I was actually saying it before then. If you go back on my channel, I was actually talking about it before then, but definitely by the time we get into 2025, I'm telling people this Israel thing is an issue and will continue to be one, and it will get worse, and it did. So I called it for exactly what it was. White supremacy and mass shooters, because of course that's what it is. Shiloh Hendricks. I mean, just all the white supremacists in the media, on YouTube or whatever. Just understand, folks, this is going to come back to bite them. The folks, the Tim Pools, the Matt Walshes, all the others who defended her, this will come back. They sold out their futures to troll for a few moments. Stupid individuals, terrible tacticians. Democrats literally riot for illegals. Literally rioting over illegals. You never saw Democrats out here throwing blows for us, but for illegals, that's what they're really concerned about. Trump gives DEI for white immigrants. So, like I say, they've just become a party of trolling. That's their only tactic now, is just to do trolling things. Biden has stage 4 cancer. Dems knew in 2024. Of course they did. MAGA turns on itself over Epstein and Trump assassination. All this stuff that Candace Owens started talking about later, I was talking about it the whole time. I never got off of it. Never got off. Will using the N-word be safe for racists? Yeah, we all see how that one worked out now, didn't we? Obama is no longer wanted by Democrats. He's just sticking full time to talking about the construction of his presidential library. Nothing else going on for him. He can't speak. He's not speaking anywhere because he can't. Talked about Larry Hoover getting a commutation. The Trump-Musk civil war. So it started with their media people, and then it ended with Trump and his billionaire buddy. So, yeah, man, I mean, it fell apart. As I said, they would be I told you all that Trump has not gotten along with anybody, not even the ultra-rich dudes around him. It will only be a matter of time before he falls out with Elon Musk, which I said would happen within the first 12 calendar months. Not 3 or 4 years later, that those two would fall out within the first 12 calendar months. Did I call it, or did I call it? Vivek, the white supremacists rioting with each other, Trump and Musk falling out. What was there for me to be worried about while Democrats are telling you, vote for us, we'll do nothing for you, but Trump will be worse? How can he be worse? They're driving a clown car and beating up each other. You couldn't pay for this kind of self-inflicted war. You couldn't pay for it. Democrats, why you're losing on black issues. And all I can say is Exhibit A. Help the illegals or Trump will get you next. Hey, y'all, did Trump get any of you yet? Asking for a friend. Has Trump gotten you yet? Do illegals want America to annex their country? If they could, they would. How the U.S. protects white crime. Okay, we've covered that before. Juneteenth, Iran war, and reparations. Now they've declared war on that. All these things are symbols for us. It doesn't matter whether or not you support Black Lives Matter as an organization or whether or not you support Juneteenth. Just understand that those are all, code words for blacks. It simply means that those are code words for blacks. So we don't necessarily defend Black Lives Matter. We defend opposing white supremacy because we know those are just code words. How the Republicans are falling apart. I said that only a couple of months in the Trump administration. I said it then. You have folks on Twitter talking about the Republicans are not falling apart. How about now, folks? By the way, for the folks who are trying to argue, you can't find your white supremacist trolls today to say that this isn't true anymore now, can you? When I said it then, they thought they were going to argue with me and troll. Trolling is not a strategy, stupid. That's not going to win. Hey, how well did this age, people? How well did that program age? The Republicans are falling apart. In 2025, not just falling apart, but falling apart in 2025, how well did that age? If I'm wrong, you should have a laundry list of things you can sit here and point to and say, Jason, you were wrong on this program. Oh, that didn't age very well. Y'all, everything on this page is aging like wine and cheese. Kamala Harris wants to come back. I said that from the very beginning. I said she was going to lay low, see if she sticks her head up. Running again is not really in the offing because the billionaire class won't support her, but she can't be the spoiler. But I said it then. This is not me saying that with a question mark. This is not me saying that in a vague manner. I said full-throated, Kamala Harris wants a comeback. So there's no ambiguity about this statement. This is a definitive statement saying she wants a comeback. How did that age? The 4th of July broadcast, of course, a black channel tradition. Should blacks oppose deportations? Why? Can Elon beat Trump without blacks? Hell, Elon couldn't beat Trump with us. More cash payments for illegals. So we've been tracking that too. The Democrats will not learn. The United States of Epstein. I've been on the case. And watching it. Joy Reid implodes on Piers Morgan. Oh, man. The open racism of white crime stats. We keep talking about that, and I keep following that, how the media covers up white crime, the racism of white crime stats. Charlie Kirk was still alive at that time. He should have been focused on this. By the way, if Charlie Kirk had been more cognizant of this, more cognizant of math, instead of being in mortal combat against mathematics, he would probably still be alive today. Charlie Kirk was adamantly, diametrically opposed to mathematics and facts, and that left him a sitting duck. The Creek Freedmen and reparations. So reparations is in the air. Reparations is in the air. Revolution is in the air. So you're seeing the walls cracking. Everybody else has seen us popularize this, and inch by inch, they are getting these things through. The poster girls of white privilege. So Sydney Sweeney, by the way, she thought she was going to have a career. How's that going? Boats in Alabama, streets of Cincinnati. Okay, you can go around and think you're going to be Shiloh Hendrix if you want to be. Shiloh Hendrix was talking to children. So you can listen to Shiloh Hendrix and Tim Pool if you wanna. You can go listen to them if you want to. How's that working out? Will we save the Democrats from Trump? Nope. Candace tried to befriend a bigot. Damn! Oh, man. Now, folks, and I said it then. I said what was going to happen. I said she thought she was going to coon enough to appease him, and it didn't. I said that he's going to make the calculus that he's going to make a lot more money fighting you than making friends with you. There's more money and more power for him to have fighting you, Candace, than collaborating with you. And did I call it? The week that MAGA turned on itself. Now, when you take a look at that image and you see Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene, folks, I was calling it then. This is not some temporary dust up. This is not some temporary dust up that is just going to flare up and subside. I was saying that this is going to be a fundamental collapse. That contrary to the lies of Roland Martin and his masters that he bootlicks for, I said that this is a fundamental moment that MAGA officially imploded on itself. Now, if I was wrong, we'd be having this conversation today about how MAGA put itself back together. Anybody who wanted to argue with me then, notice you can't find them today. Well, yeah, because this isn't just some hyperbolic clickbait. I said, no, this is a fundamental collapse. They're not going to be able to return or recover from this. And I'm pointing out the people in particular, the principles that I was looking at. This wasn't a show, and this wasn't just some folks being pissy online. This is MAGA collapsing. And I showed the principles involved, and they are at each other's throats, and not just on opposing sides. They have now staked out war lines against each other. They staked out battle lines against each other, and they are planning to fight each other in the upcoming year. They're already drawing their battle lines and getting into position to go at each other hammer and tong in 2026. Now, there were jackasses and clowns who are out of touch with reality, who think everything is fake or that everything is just entertainment because they grew up with a cell phone. surgically attached to their eyeball, but in the real world, yeah, facts matter. So I didn't just say that to be saying it. I told you all, oh no, this is over. This is it. It will not recover, and it isn't. Of course, the epitaph of Winsome Sears. The epitaph of Winsome Sears, I wanted to follow her because just to let them know that, ma'am, yeah, Fox News and them can gas your water balloon head up, but this ends the same way for you that it ends for all of them. B1 FBA language officially takes over. As your anchorman of the New Black Media, it is incumbent on me to document these things and then to catch you all up when you start hearing them use our phrases over and over and over again in places. They will not attribute them to us, but they have to acknowledge it. And I'm just showing you all, we are not in a vacuum. YouTube suppresses the channel and attempts to dilute it and to hide it and shadow ban it precisely because the potency of what we do. Take a look at, even with them shadow banning us and blocking us at every turn, take a look at our message is so potent that even at this reduced level, take a look at the waves we're able to make. The war to control black politics, because they're looking toward the future. Why MAGA targeted Cracker Barrel, I debunked that whole stupid thing. Lessons from the Essence Fest failure. Oh boy. Well, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Illegals hiding from mass arrests. It helped them to a certain degree, not as much as they had wished. How can Democrats regain the black vote? Not going well on that front either. The true story of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist. Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist who mocked the deaths of black people, mocked the deaths of black children, and spent his life, and I would say wasted his life, promoting the religion and the cause of white supremacy. Had he instead focused on humanity, he wouldn't have had nearly as big of an audience, but he would have actually had an honorable life. And he wouldn't have had to spend his life with people saying that after he died, don't repeat his words, don't replay him, don't talk about what he said. He wouldn't have had the shame and embarrassment of simply dying as a useful but ugly bumper sticker. He could have actually been something that would have been useful as a person. But he chose that and he squandered that, and there will be no undoing it. We got thousands of y'all in here tonight on the East Coast. The ball's getting ready to drop for you here, so if you're down there on Times Square in one of those $30 or $50 or $100,000 rooms,
nigga, what?
All right, the ball's dropping for all of you. So Central Time here will be up next. Oh, look, we love Mr. Charlie.
Damn!
I told you about the Democrats. The Democrats were right there defending Charlie Kirk and passing resolutions to honor that white supremacist scum. The Democrats were passing resolutions to let you all know that all that politics and stuff is just a damn game. They are on the side of the white supremacists. They are on their side. Trying to repackage white supremacy, I called it then. And yeah, the Democrats think they're going to help the Republicans to repackage white supremacy because that's the real policy of the people in government. That's the real policy. Kamala is still afraid of Biden. Well, yeah, because she's gearing up to try to make a comeback and run for president again. The rise of Charlie Kirk's wannabes. I started pointing these names out when nobody else was. By the way, that was the worst thing that could have happened to them, was getting attention. The worst thing that could have happened to the wannabes was getting attention. Oh, look, Officer Tatum is crying about racism. That didn't go well for him at all. Now did it? You thought that was just going to be some flash in the pan, some fad that was going to come and go? Hey, folks, how's that working out? His complaining about the white supremacists and racists that he loves so much, Mr. Charlie, how's that working out for him now, folks? By the way, did that just come and go, or has he found himself on the outside? Another 21st century lynching crusade. Talking about Kyron Lacey. Message to our fellow soldiers, rest in power, Black Voltron. Had to do that program that night. The week that Trump turned on MAGA. And this was when they had to let them know that, by the way, yeah, this is not the United States of white supremacy. The United States of white supremacy is also the United States of Epstein. And let them know who actually runs things. Trump didn't get in the office to help you. He got in the office to help his family and to cash out while he's still alive to do so. J.D. Vance defends Republican Nazis. J.D. Vance is going to find it practically impossible to become president because of this. The media is waiting. They're waiting in the wings to resurrect this. When he attempts to go nationally, the microphone will be shoved in his face, and he will be having to talk about the Republican Nazis out of New York that he defended as just boys being boys. So the media is ready. This was his Kamala Harris now moment. This was his Kamala Harris now moment. His Hillary Clinton, defending the war in Iraq. That was his moment. And the media is going to sit back and let it cool down. But when he tries to run, they are going to slam that in his face. And it will dog him. And it will work. The GOP political game exposed. Showing how their, quote, disagreements are just a game among certain members. Yes, do understand that when they're doing their political jockeying. However, for MAGA, no, that's a wrap. Who gets blamed for rigging the NBA? Of course, they're letting the white dudes off. Nobody's giving them any attention, so don't worry about it. Guess who plans to run in 2028? I followed those things throughout the years so that you all would have as long of a heads up as humanly possible. I jumped on it. I never got off of it. I never backed off of it. You got to be able to track these things. The old dead black media will try to tell you that this isn't really what's happening. So you got to have a source like this that will tell you, no, this is, and we're going to keep reminding you over and over again, keeping it on the front burner, and it's there. And now everyone agrees. Now, when I first said it, no one was agreeing. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's on the same page and there's no disputing or arguing now. There was before, but now there isn't. Oh, man, Indians find out MAGA hates them all.
Damn!
Oh, boy, this was just goofy and stupid. But you had it coming, you moron. Are the young becoming more racist? Well, there's points to take about that right there, by the way. Great program. You can go and review that one also. Full-blown right-wing civil war. Once again, there were folks, even at this late date of a couple of months ago, there were people who were trying to argue with me then that it's not a full-blown right-wing civil war. And I showed you all who the factions were in the thumbnail image. Hey, how did that break down? Did it break down the way I told you? MAGA's biggest names have gone officially nuts. An entertaining program you can go check out if you want a few laughs. Tucker Carlson, he got attacked by demons.
Nigga, what?
Yes, when Tucker Carlson got attacked by demons. No. Literal demons. No, not figurative demons. Tucker Carlson wants us to know that it was the exorcist at his house. He wants us to know that it was Amityville Horror at his house. So, yeah. Megyn Kelly defends Epstein victims' ages.
Nigga, what?
Oh, boy. Yes, ma'am. Megyn Kelly was defending the ages of the victims. I mean, 15 is different than, 9, isn't it? Okay, Megyn, we'll say it with your chest. Don't mumble it, girl. Say it with your chest now. Little 15-year-old gals are out here. Just let them know, hey, whatever you get's whatever you get. You old enough to know better. Whatever you get is what you get. Megyn Kelly wants to let y'all know where she stands. And no, she didn't misspeak. MAGA is dead. Trump killed it. I said it before anybody else had said it. I called it and said it. And then finally, at long last, everybody else started conceding it. You're in an era where people will pass around videos without context prematurely. But when it comes to calling the obvious, you find out that folks are scared, either because they're not smart enough and don't understand it, or because they're hoping that won't be the case. When most people don't pay attention to things, so it's practically impossible for them to take positions early because they're not really paying attention. They don't have all the details. They don't have all the information. So any assumptions they do make will usually be horrifically wrong. So they'll be premature about sharing entertainment. For this other stuff here, they got no prognostication abilities whatsoever. But then again, that's why y'all have me. So thank you. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns. Oh, I had to call that one out. You notice that this one has a question mark. I wanted to give you all a heads up. When I put question marks on my stuff, that's not accidental. I'm not asking, did it occur? I'm saying, is there a dimension to this that the rest of the media is not talking about? And I called it then. When she said she was resigning, I said she's gearing up to run for governor of Georgia. Vivek Ramaswamy left Trump's administration to run for governor of Ohio. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene is testing the waters to position herself to run for governor of Georgia. And as I said, you're going to start seeing that get louder in 2026. Well, at least in her part of the world, it is now 2026. So she's going to be going on The View. I'm expecting her to pivot. I'm expecting that she will. So keep your eyes and your ears open for that. FBA is the CIA. So like I say, a program that had to be done for the purposes of clarifying exactly where we stand on the Pan-African movement. We have moved beyond Pan-Africanism. We moved beyond it a long time ago. We are not looking backwards because we are going where power is. If Pan-Africanism would like to rejoin us at some point in the future, we will weigh the options at that time, and if it makes sense, we will do so. But until then, the Pan-African movement is no longer going to be able to sponge or grift off of us. It is going to have to prove its worth and justify its existence if it can, and the people have voted with their feet. If Pan-Africanism could attract an audience on its own, it would have that. I submit to you all that the people have voted with their feet. The No Thanksgiving program, a Black Channel tradition. Oh, Fuentes and Carlson are back at war. Yeah, for those of you who thought that they were going to mend fences over there in MAGA world. For those of you who thought that I did not call Nick Fuentes' mentality. For those of you who thought I was wrong about it, that anybody who talks to him, he's going to attack them. Anybody and everybody. If you do an interview with him, he's going to attack you. He's going to use you for publicity and legitimacy. And then right after that, he's going to turn right around in his very next program and attack you. And say that either you said something about him he didn't like, or that you are not sufficiently white supremacist enough. He's either going to say that the problem is there was something you said about him a long time ago and he's still salty over it, or he's going to say that you are not, he's attacking you because you're not sufficiently white supremacist. You're too soft. So, Viola Fletcher, a martyr that we are going to remember and that our enemies are going to sorely wish we forget. Oh man, the Somalis regret voting for Trump. Damn! No, folks, talk about things that did not age well. That's why I want to go into a comprehensive program, because you heard folks talk about people, but here at the New Black Media, I gave you all the 720 degrees of analysis you receive absolutely nowhere else, with all the details, all the principles, not just showing faces, but showing you all the retrospective, what they were saying before, what they were living like, what their kids are living like, and then fast forwarding to them now. Racists donate to the Cinnabon bigot, right until they found out about her kid, and then they wish they hadn't. Oh, look, Fuentes turns on all his groupies. Jason just keeps hammering that point home. Now everybody's going to talk about it. And by the way, don't worry, Fuentes is already declining, so that's not going to hold. His relevance is already declining. As I said, the closer you get towards an election, the more radioactive he becomes. He's fine when there's nothing on the ballot. As soon as it's time to elect somebody, yeah, everybody's going to run from him, including himself. Everyone's going to run from him, including him. Democrats, Republicans, and Band-Aid politics. So I had to get on that. Wes Moore tried to stop our reparations. All right. Wear your banner openly, Wes. Wear your banner openly. Everyone is in the Epstein files, as I told you all it would be. Last Christmas program that we did of the year here was right after that. And we're talking about how the Democrats, you want to talk about not learning in their lessons there, they're burying their report for their autopsy. They're burying their report for that. So, yes, not only did they not learn anything, they're making a conscious effort not to learn anything. Vivek Ramaswamy is basically documenting why he will lose. And it's all the people that he was kissing ass on all this time who are going to make sure he doesn't get there. The universe does have some justice in it. The universe does have some justice in it. It does have some justice in it. Not quite as much as some of us would like, but it does have some. It's got some. Really shouldn't talk about this right now, to be totally honest here. I really shouldn't talk about this right now, but I'm going to touch on a few things here, just a few things. Maybe we'll come back and, retouch on it again later at some time here. Maybe we will. Let me go ahead and give out a few reminders here to folks. Folks, I know some of you are talking about the situation in Minnesota with the Somalis and all the fraud stuff, and we all know about that. But this thing with this Nick Shirley kid, 23 years old, and that whole thing is a setup. That whole thing is a scam, folks. What he's doing, I mean, he's not even as legit as, Project Veritas. He's not even as legit as them. I warn all of you, I'm just giving you a heads up. Don't go chasing that one. Everyone who's backing him, Elon Musk and the rest of them, they're all going to look like idiots. And again, at this point, they're so used to looking like idiots. Would anybody be able to tell the difference? But don't go following behind that. Don't. Everyone who is supporting him, everyone who is cheerleading him, including Trump and his clowns, everybody's going to end up looking bad when that's over. He is not a reliable source here. Not to say that there's not shenanigans going on up there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he's not a horse you want to back. He is not the horse you want to back. You want to find somebody else, not him. Not him. So we're going to hit on a couple of things. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because of this situation right here. Just to let you all know, folks are investigating this. People are investigating this, and they're finding out things. Says breaking NPR News reports that Minnesota's House GOP leader, Lisa Demuth, acknowledged the Republican Party's involvement in Nick Shirley's viral daycare video, saying, quote, "We worked with Nick Shirley on this." Damn! So these political parties, they got operatives on the internet that they making backroom deals and making backroom connections and plans and schemes with. And that includes Democrats and Republicans. This is not limited to just Republicans, but just letting you all know they're on some CIA COINTELPRO stuff. It's not real news, people. It's all propaganda. He says that matters because the video has been widely framed as independent citizen journalism. Well, yeah, he is a plant. He is an agent that the political party used. And then he puts the video out, and then all of a sudden, all of them go jumping on it. I mean, Donald Trump's son and Elon Musk and the rest of them. So they're not watching anybody else. They're watching some 23-year-old out of nowhere. No, this is the same old, the message of the day. What they did on Fox News, the message of the day, where everywhere you go, everybody is repeating the same thing. Megyn Kelly and them talking about the girl who got killed in Charlotte on the bus. Yeah, they've all, this is their strategy. Find an issue, even if you have to fabricate one, even if you got to lie, and see if we can take people's attention off of Epstein and maybe push an agenda. So none of this is legitimate. None of this is natural. None of this is organic. Yes, these are all political ploys. And this is what the media should be talking about. Minnesota officials have said fraud investigations were already underway long before the video, and inspections have not backed up many of the claims made about the specific daycare centers shown, about others but not the ones that Shirley went to. Still, the video fueled widespread outrage and targeted scrutiny of Somali-owned childcare providers. With a top Republican now on record confirming coordination, this reframes the entire narrative. This wasn't just a lone YouTuber uncovering something new. A political party acknowledges involvement in producing or shaping media that went viral, not organically, and helped drive public outrage, public backlash. Now, that's the one side of it. The other side of it is, by the way, the Somali community up there had their opportunity to fight these things years ago. They thought that they were going to coon and buffoon and chase interracial sexual access and that would be their protection. So what they're going to have to do now is suffer under pure, unadulterated, undiluted white supremacy, and they must handle it on their own, by themselves. And it's not going well, and it will only get worse. Well, they called us the enemy. They called us the enemy. They attempted to join hands with the very Republicans who are now targeting them. So at this point, you are on your own for the duration. For the duration. Speaking of Republicans that you can't trust. Speaking of Republicans that you cannot trust. Oh man, Mark Levin. Well, take a look at what Mark Levin said, folks. Megyn Kelly, whose ratings were so bad on NBC she became a laughingstock, was canned for promoting blackface on Halloween. You see, she was always a degenerate bigot. What? Mark Levin has a problem with white supremacists and racism all of a sudden? Because I don't remember him saying anything. Actually, I do remember him speaking when this occurred, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. All of a sudden, he's got a problem with that. Well, what about Tim Pool, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, all his buddies? What about them? This is why she's cool with Candace Owens and Jack Posobiec. This is why she slaughters over Carlson. She's part of the woke Reich, the queen of the modern Klan. More to come. Okay. Well, folks, I mean, I saw that and I said, when one racist, Mark Levin, all of a sudden thinks that he can got the gall to think he can call out another racist, Megyn Ku Klux Kelly, over something that he's been silent about all these years. The rest of the world talked about this. Where was he to condemn her then? You know this is either total lack of self-awareness or we've officially entered the twilight zone. Now, folks, remember what I told you here. I said, by the way, when everybody else was talking about this years ago, where was Mark Levin? Well, there are other folks on his timeline who showed you where he was. One person here says, although Meghan is a fake conservative who is out for herself, Mark, this tweet was as bad as Trump going after Reiner post-murder. Kelly's blackface comment was not bigoted. Really? The firing only showed that NBC hated her, which is understandable. Yeah, because she's a bigot. But folks, you go down some more and then you start seeing this. Meghan was fired the same day you defended her.
What?
Damn!
Damn!
Oh yeah, folks, there were folks who went back in the crates and got the receipts. Yeah, they went back and said, what are you doing, Mark? You were defending her. But you weren't condemning her then, you were defending her. You go down his timeline, Mark, there's legitimate reasons to criticize Meghan, but using left-wing talking points like she's a bigot who used blackface causes you to lose credibility. Somebody here with some sense. It's okay, Mark. MAGA hates all of you equally. No racist or anti-Semitic filters or fillers needed. But yeah, folks, you take this right here, 101 engagement. Just remember that's engagement. Doesn't really mean views, but 101 engagement. Yeah, there's folks who let them know, hey, Mark, we got invoices, dude. You were defending her when this happened. Back in 2018, you were defending her. Now, all of a sudden, her being blackface makes her racist. You thought it was fine back then. And Mark Levin has never had a problem with white supremacists who hate black people. He's loved them. George Zimmerman, Daniel Penny, he's mocked the murders of black people all over the place. He's mocked the murders and killings of black people at every turn. Never was a black victim that he's ever defended. Always attacked them. So Mark Levin is a card-carrying white supremacist, and he thinks he's going to use that on Megyn Kelly. Dude, you can't weaponize us. The Somalians are not going to be able to call us up. Oh, guys, we need you to come run interference for us. And Mark Levin, you can't use us either. We are not going to come swinging down here to come help you go attack Megyn Kelly. You two get over there and beat each other's bigoted brains out. That's what you two do. But don't think you're going to call us for black backup. You two get over there and bash each other's brains out of your skulls. We'll be over here with the popcorn. That's where we'll be. Just in case. I know it's been a bit of a heavy subject here. I get it. It's been a bit of a heavy subject here tonight. And I don't want it to be too heavy on you all. So I want to give you all something that gives you a little bit of levity. And I know I'm not the foundational black comedian, but I do want to give you all a little something that may give you a little bit of levity before I go ahead and hit up the Zoom. Before I go ahead and crank the Zoom up and let you all call in here. For most of America, it's still the last day of the year. But give you all an opportunity to go ahead and weigh in and check in with us here. But before I do, there's something I want us to go over here because I've got so many questions. I have so many questions. Folks, what is going on here?
I'm a barber content creator, but I'm also into storytelling. I just use unconventional tools to cut.
Okay, he said that he considers himself a storyteller.
I'm a barber content creator, but I'm also into storytelling. I just use unconventional tools to cut hair. I started as a barber back in high school around 2018. But then content creation, I started it in 2023. I would say I'm motivated by African culture, African stories.
Folks, he said he is motivated by African culture and African stories. Okay, is the AP just trolling? People, is this a serious story from the AP or are they just trolling?
2018. But then content creation, I started.
People. I mean, first of all, to let somebody get that close to your head with something like that in the first place, but y'all, this is how they're getting their edges. This answers so many questions when you think about it. This is how they're getting their edges? Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till he pulls out the razor.
Nigga, what?
No. I'm not talking about the barber's razor. Wait till he pulls out the razor, folks. I mean, he's on some Penn and Teller, David Copperfield stuff. Wait till you see that.
In high school around 2018. But then content creation, I started it in 2023. I would say I'm motivated by African culture, African stories. And I really think there should be someone out there that is big on social media, is a very big content creator, not based on the Western culture, but based.
No, your Humpty eyes did not deceive you.
The Western culture.
Nigga, what?
Yes. If you think you see a shovel, that's because you see a shovel. I've seen many things in a barber shop. Folks, all of us have seen many things in a barber shop. A shovel wasn't one of them. I've seen brooms. I've seen mops. I've seen cakes. No, literal cakes. I've seen guns. I've never seen a shovel in a barber's chest of tools. Never seen it. And he said he's inspired by African culture. I'm just saying, if you've had questions about the hairlines for all these years, I think I figured out where the hairlines come from. I think we have found documented evidence about where that actually originates. And now it just makes so much sense.
He is a very big content creator.
I mean, think about that for a few. I saw hair fall off of here. Y'all, I mean, he ain't bull jiving. He is literally edging this dude up with a shovel.
Nigga, what?
He is literally edging this dude up with a shovel. He said, damn clippers, I'm going to Home Depot.
Big content creator, not based on the Western culture, but based on, original, but based on, the Western culture.
Not based on the Western culture.
Big on social media, is a very big content creator, not based on.
Not based on the Western culture. You don't say. I'll second that emotion. You damn right. That's not on Western culture.
The Western culture, but based on, original culture.
Based on original culture, y'all. So what he's saying is they slapping shovels up on niggas' head. He's the one saying it, people, not me.
Culture, but based on, original culture, based on who we are, like Africans. Who we are, like Africans.
Folks, I mean, he's got literally a disposable shaving razor. He's doing every damn thing except the right thing. First of all, look at these edges. That's the first thing. How in the hell do you have, a literal shaving razor and the edges are still looking like this? So even when you give him microscopic tools, and edge is non-existent. Just none. So folks, I'm just saying, even when you thought the shovel, you're like, well, Jason, it's because he got a damn shovel. No wonder he can't edge up. Hey, bro, he got a razor, and the edges are still like, yeah, find me. The edges are still missing in action.
I'm a barber content creator, but I'm also into storytelling. I just use unconventional tools to cut hair. I started as a barber back in high school around 2018. But then content creation, I started it in 2023. I would say I'm motivated by African culture, African stories. And I really think there should be someone out there that is big on social media, is a very big content creator, not based on the Western culture, but based on, original culture, based on who we are, like Africans.
Folks, I mean, is AP trolling? Is AP just trolling here? What is going on? All right. Well, I'm just bringing you all the news fit to print. So on this last day of 2025, I was this many years old when I learned that, according to him, traditional African culture is getting your line up with a damn shovel and a spade. So it's, man, I thought he was going to be doing his hair with a pitchfork. What? So, yeah, they said y'all niggas wasting all that money on clippers. Y'all are wasting all that money on clippers from Wall and all that. You wasting all that damn money. And like, dude, look here. Hand me that damn pitchfork. Watch me get this done. Hand me that pitchfork and that iron. Hand me that pitchfork and that steam iron. I'll get that taken care of. Y'all wasting money with them clippers. So, can you imagine how damn terrified you'd be sitting in a barber chair and that nigga coming at you with a shovel? You'd be like, I'll be damned. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm stuck. And the man come around the corner with a damn shovel near your head. You're feeling like Dustin Hoffman in The Marathon Man. Is it safe? Is it safe? So, yeah, y'all, reporting live from the barbershop. Hey, between this and remember the illegals up there in Chicago? Oh man, between those two, remember the illegals up there in Chicago edging folks up on the sidewalk? Remember that one? I mean, oh boy, no wonder he looked upset. I'm like, oh, did he see his lineup? Okay, hey, bro, yeah, y'all might all be from Nicaragua, but this dude over here getting over on y'all. So, yeah, between the illegals in Chicago on the sidewalk and this over here, I'm like, oh man, ain't a hairline safe. How'd you know I was an immigrant, man? Look here, I had a clue. Not a hairline safe anywhere. Oh man, it's gonna be a messed up situation. However, you might disagree. Therefore, I've gone ahead and pinned the link to the Zoom in the top of the chat room if you are so inclined. You are more than welcome to join us on this last day of 2025, coming into 2026. Brand new year, exact same mission as always. Absolutely nothing will change except the date. Other than that, everything else will remain consistent. We are not moving. We are not deviating. Pedal to the metal, foot to the floor. In the meantime here, I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who has contributed toward tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to my man, Mr. Richburg. Thank you for your support tonight, brother. We appreciate that as always. To Revelation 2026. My man Darius, thank you very much for your support tonight as well. And to everyone who has contributed to support the program here, we appreciate that as well. There's a great thing about doing what we do here. And part of what we do here is this is more than just folk tuning in. This is family. It's more than just people tuned in here. This is family, because what we do here matters. Many of you have been here with me as we walk down this journey. We have walked from the days when it seemed like we were just screaming and screeching into the wilderness to now we are universally recognized. And please understand that that's not accidental. Their goal has always been to make us feel that we don't matter. When you feel that you don't matter, the first thing you do is stop trying. When you're totally convinced that what you are doing is completely futile, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stop. You're going to give up. Who wants to spend their life doing something that's irrelevant or futile? It doesn't mean anything. So their primary goal, the primary psyop, the primary tactic against you is to make you feel that what you are doing doesn't matter. That's the primary goal. That you have to feel that it's irrelevant. So get back to work and get back to picking the cotton, because you ain't gonna change anything over here. And I'm here to tell you that, yeah, white supremacy might be big, and it might be large, and it might be this mountain you see in front of you, but we are going to turn that mountain into rubble, one hammer strike at a time. And you can't turn a mountain into rubble in a day, but if you keep coming back every day, believe me, you will. You will. And I want to thank all of my brothers and all of my sisters from around the world who have stayed focused, who have stayed steadfast, who have stayed committed, who have stayed consistent. Maybe you didn't always see which way to go. Maybe you didn't always know if you were on the right path. Maybe you didn't always know if you were on the right track. In many ways, you were just walking ahead on faith that your efforts would eventually change things. And now here you are, and all of a sudden, you are no longer in an irrelevant minority. When you say these things, it's like, oh hell, there's a lot more out there saying it. Folks don't talk to you anymore as if you're that crazy little kid talking. Now when you speak, they're like, oh, you're one of them. Now it's you're one of them. Yeah, one of the folk who defeated you. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And I would like to talk to you all about the future going forward here now. It's very important that we discuss the future going forward. To my brothers and my sisters from around the world, if you wish to make a difference, it is imperative, it is crucial and key. You are going to have to make those moves yourself. This idea that there's somebody else who will do it, it's not going to happen. The old niggas sold us out for their own personal benefits, and at this point now all they wish for is a peaceful death. That's all they want. They don't give a damn about what's happening because they're just hoping that they hurry up and die before the catastrophic ramifications of their actions become apparent. They don't even want to live anymore. They've screwed up things so badly that they don't even want to live anymore. So they don't care how badly they've messed it up, because as far as they're concerned, well, I'll be dead before the real ramifications come crashing in, just so long as I'm taken care of. Just so long as I'm all right. Don't give a damn what happens to the rest of you little niggas, just so long as I'm okay. On my way out. But I just need your little dumb young ass to sit there and keep cheerleading and taking care of me. Now, I ain't took care of a damn thing for you. But I just need you to be a little good, obedient member of the cult. and make sure that I'm taken care of. Because that's all that really matters. Taking care of me. And what these folks have done here, man, I've been preaching it for the longest, and now as the young folk have moved out into the world and they realize how damnably impossible of a conundrum they are in, now they can't pretend not to know anymore. They can't pretend they don't see it anymore and that they don't know anymore because they're living with the consequences. So I'm telling you all right now, stop with what I said to you going on 2 decades ago. Stop asking who is the resistance. If you hear this message, you are the resistance. If you are listening to this message and you believe what we believe and you know what we know, stop asking who is the resistance. You are the resistance. You are the insurrection. You're the insurgents. And what that means going forward is that you have got to be on a war footing. We do not have the proper funding. We are a ragtag army. I understand that. We're a volunteer force. We've always been. You are going to have to gather what resources you can. The fact that they've denied us resources does not alleviate you of the responsibility to gather the resources that you can. Yes, I wish that we could be a fully funded, fully equipped, fully mechanized army. I wish we could, but brothers and sisters, we're going to have to be guerrillas. We're going to have trench warfare, sure, but we are going to have insurgent warfare. We are not going to be able to spray the battlefield with bullets. You're going to have to be snipers. And we are going to have to use guerrilla tactics. You're going to have to learn how to live off the land and have an outsized impact with the resources that you do have. So to all of my brothers and all of my sisters from around the world in 2026, this is the year for you to find one other black person, not 5, not 10, one other black person, and the two of you will be steel that sharpens steel. I'm going to also give one warning here to the ladies out there. Don't let it be the fellas doing that. By the way, to the ladies, going into 2026, I need you all to understand. To the females, don't let a fella come up to you with a good rap. Good rap me ass. Find you another female you're on the same page with. Or if it's going to be a dude, it needs to be a dude who does not have physical access to you. Well, this is not going to be the kick it spot on the hookup spot. We got too many females looking for a husband and too many fellas out here looking for a bedmate. And I'm not saying you can't have either one of those, but when it comes to this business thing, that's got to go to the side. And most people are not disciplined enough to be able to separate those things. And don't tell yourself that you are, baby. You know full damn well you not. You're sad, you're lonely, and you're looking for someone to break the monotony. I understand it. I know what you're going through. This is not going to get you ahead. We got too many people concentrating on making each other's toes curl and figuring that they will both figure it out later, and nobody figures it out because there's nothing to figure out. If he's not ready when you get there, forget about it. But I'm not even going to encourage the women to do that. There's too many fellas out here think they're going to just talk a good game and the females will be so, well, Jason, he said that. Do you know how many emails I get with a female saying that? Well, Jason, he said the right thing, baby. We ain't going on no damn talk. We are not going on talk. We're not going on future plans. We're not going on woulda, coulda, shoulda. We're not going on ambitions and speculation. And for the last damn time, to every female within the sound of my voice, don't be a dumbass heifer judging fellas on his potential.
And
Deal with it, nigga.
I don't want to hear another female acting stupid and goofy and judging a dude on his potential. If he doesn't bring you proof, there ain't nothing to judge. No, he doesn't have to be, damn me, Elon Musk rich or anything like that, but there need to be some tangibles. You do not waste a minute of time on a fellow who can't produce tangibles. Baby, if he can't produce a slice of bread, what the hell makes you think he's going to produce a loaf? And the other thing is, well, I'll have faith in him till he gets there. There's more silliness. I don't want to be a female who doesn't believe, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Ma'am, he's got to give you proof. You don't get doubt based on speculation. What did he show you? Well, he talked this. Now I said, what did he show you? Oh, he didn't show anything. He's talking. You mean like the rest of them? Well, he's got plans. Baby, plans don't keep out the cold, don't feed no kids, and don't rebuild communities. That's not what plans do. Action does. Did he show you any action? Well, he travels around. He talks to folk. Okay, when's the last time he went to a bank and there was a banker who validated a word he said? Oh, you never went there. Okay, enough. So, ladies, when I'm giving these plans here, when I'm talking about here, I want y'all to understand that that is not the goal. That is not what we're doing. There will be no speculation. None. I've been doing this now going on 2 decades. There shouldn't be a single person who's been listening to me for more than 36 months who should not have something on the table. Got folk who, let's just be honest, you have a bunch of folks here, you become like your deadbeat ass daddy and your granny and the rest of them old broke down niggas who are wishing for a peaceful death. The problem is that won't be your lot. You got too many years in front of you. It won't be a peaceful death for you. It'll just be a miserable life. That's what it'll be for you. It will just be long and hard and ugly and brutish and miserable. And you will struggle. And tomorrow you'll get up and struggle again in utter futility because you're getting up every day and you're not taking it seriously. You don't belong in the company of people who are getting something done when you're not doing nothing your damn self. So all of us, everyone here, we are past the point of speculation. People got to come with a damn proof. If we are demanding tangibles of the government, we will also demand tangibles of each other. Going forward, that is the rule, and I've been saying it now going on 2 decades. People, 2026, it's go time. If you are going to talk about demanding tangibles of the government, the person next to you got to bring them too. You have to bring it and demand tangibles of yourself. And and that's the only thing that gives you the right to demand tangibles of others. You sitting there forever, year after year, spinning your wheels, talking about what you should do and this, that, and the other, and what you're gonna do and what needs to be done, and never doing it. That mental and intellectual masturbation and nothing put on the table. The builders need to get together with the builders. If you can't build a credit score that goes from 550 to 700, I'd be a damn fool to think that you're ever gonna build anything tangible. If you can't get your personal finances straightened out after 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It does not take 10 damn years to get your money straightened out. It takes 10 damn years if you ain't doing nothing. Now that takes 10 years. That'll take a lifetime. It takes a lifetime to spin your wheels and do nothing. It doesn't take 10 damn years for you to get your money right. It doesn't take 10 damn years for you to find a direction. It doesn't take 10 damn years for you to hunker down and get tangibles under you. That doesn't take 10 years. It might take you 10 years to save up $1 million. It doesn't take 10 years to increase your credit score by 100 points and to have $10,000 in the bank. It doesn't take a decade to do that. It takes a decade when you got a blunt in one hand and a whiskey in the other and a whole bunch of po mouth in between your lips. Now that does take a decade. So I want everyone in here, if you do not have a skill, you need to have that. Stop talking about that. You need to have that. This idea that you're going to be able to sit at a damn desk job and be okay and never get anything tangible going, that's out the damn window. If you do not have a skill, you don't have a clue or a prayer, and you're useless to us. You're looking for somebody to come save you. Like your dirty ass granny and your dirty ass granddaddy. You're looking for someone to come save you. And we're not here to save you. We're here to get together with folk who can save themselves. And so for everybody here, that is the rule. Going forward, that's the code. You find one other black person who is dead ass serious, and that there isn't any sexual tension between the two of you. Let me say that again. You need to find one other black person who is dead ass serious, and there is no sexual tension between you. For the men, stop looking for a broad. The women don't lead, nor should they. No matter what delusions or idiocy they tell themselves. Take a look at what's happened over the last 40 years. The black community is the result of female quote-unquote leadership. You can be an effeminized, male, feminist, metrosexual dumbass if you want to be, but that's not the way that works. You need to find one other fella out there that you all can work with. I don't give a damn. If you are in a major American city, you need to find a contractor. You need to find a contractor, and you need to be an apprentice. You need to have skill set. You need to be in school your damn self. Got fellas in here talking about what their money ain't doing. Bruh, it's time to go get a skill. It's time for you to break down and actually accept it. Hey, this trying to take the easy road, that's not going to cut it. You're going to have to take the hard route. The route you've been avoiding. There are a bunch of males listening to me here right now. You know damn well you're supposed to go back to school and get a trade. Trying to figure out how you can do everything except work with your hands. You're trying to figure out how to do everything in cyberspace so that you don't chip a nail for your next manicure. And in the process, you become useless. And year after year, because your mammy raised you and your daddy's no good, so you're trying to be some formulation of your mama. Well, she don't want to chip a nail. I don't give her did. Instead, take your ass to community college for a year so you can stop this treadmill of complaining about what you don't have and coming back year after year with nothing. Because I need to be very, very clear about this next part I'm about to say, and this will upset a number of different people, but to hell with you.
And deal with it, nigga.
We talk about this delineation thing. Oh, I'm going here tonight. We've talked about this delineation thing. We've talked about this distinction thing. But I want to say this to the soil. I want to say this to the descendants of the American freedmen. I want to say this to the foundation. Brothers and sisters, delineation is not complete until we have also marked the lines of delineation from those, quote unquote, within our group and from our lineage. You see, you started this with the so-called outsider, but you also need to understand it starts over there, but it ends here. The old who did nothing, the current or young who have repeated doing nothing, the constant perpetual excuses in the face of adversity, the endless shiftlessness and never getting nothing done, the endless every time you show up they have nothing to offer and it's year after year. we gonna have to delineate, and I'm gonna say it differently, what I said decades ago. Thin the herd. Damn! And cut the dead weight. Sitting up here acting like your religious parents, and I'm not bombing on your religion, but by the way, that's a negative right there. You don't sit up here and quote, have faith in people year after year. You have faith in what you see. When you see them working, when you see them getting done, when you see them elevating, you're holding a standard. It's a standard for you. It should be one for them. And if they are not upholding their end of it, it's time to delineate. You got old niggas around you who don't believe in passing anything down. If he's got nothing to pass down, he's got nothing to offer and damn sure nothing to say to you. Cut the dead weight. It's time to delineate, starting with him. How in the hell are you going to delineate from the continental Africans, and yet you got this old nigga, this useless whore sitting next to you, taking up space, eating up resources, and not contributing a damn thing but they mouth? Oh no! They get tossed over here with the rest of them. So if you're talking about delineating, keep in mind that that delineation is going to begin with them. And your delineation is not complete until you've done that. Delineation is not complete until you have thinned the herd in your life. Everybody around you, if they are not producing, they are not supposed to be here. We will take no more excuses. You run yourself like a professional sports league. You're not where somebody comes to learn. When they come to you, they're supposed to be ready. If they're not ready, you tell them come back when you are. Because if you're ready and they're not, the only thing they can do is be a parasite in the drain. You don't need to find a million. You find one other who is just as serious as you and has actually got something to bring. Like I said, maybe you ain't got the whole loaf. Hey, man, you got one slice of bread. Hey, if you got a slice and he got a slice, damn it, at least make a sandwich.
And deal with it, nigga.
Okay, maybe you ain't got a loaf of bread. Maybe you don't have a bakery. Okay, but the two of you should at least have the sense that God gave a goose to at least put your two pieces of bread together and make a sandwich. At least do that. Because at this point right now, folks, we don't have years that have fallen off the calendar now. We have decades that have fallen off the calendar. We've got decades now that are falling off the calendar at this point, with folks sitting around and running their damn lip, poking out their lips, and what we gonna do? Those of you who follow me the longest, you know I have no patience for Mr. or Mrs. What do we do? The only people asking what do we do ain't doing nothing. That's the problem with the big cities. All the big city niggas. Nothing getting done in the big damn cities. They're sitting in these epicenters of economics, and let's just call it what it is. Everybody wants to get themselves a fancy car so they can go get themselves a fly hoe to lay up with, and then he's done building anything. He just wants to maintain sexual access to her, and if she goes, maintain sexual access to another one, but the damn building don't happen. I'm looking around New York City. I'm looking around LA, I'm looking around Atlanta, I'm looking around Miami, I'm looking at black folk who are making millions of dollars in those cities. Millions of dollars, and yet I don't see any multiplier effect whatsoever. Okay, we understand why that's happening. The ball is dropping here, by the way, but we understand Central Time is dropping, so we crossed over 2026, and I'm on fire for this one. We got a bunch of folk out there got money. Celebrities, podcasters, YouTubers. I'm talking about people who are not dealing with shadow banning issues. Folks who are not dealing with shadow banning issues. I'm not hating on the Kai Cenats and whatnot, but I'm like, you know what? For you little young fellas, I can't spare no blows on that. Y'all dudes are sitting up here complaining about females. Your white counterparts are trying to rule the damn world. Mr. Beast didn't just sit on YouTube and sit up here and chase some gals around. He's out here trying to build an empire. He's probably the first billionaire YouTuber that we've seen. Meanwhile, I'm looking at his black counterparts and whatnot, and he can play around, be stupid. And it is not a level playing field, and it's not fair. And of course, they're going to promote dudes like that because they know he's not going to do anything except clown on the internet. He's not a threat. Okay, but for the rest of you that are a threat, this is time to hunker down. It's been time to hunker down. What the hell you doing? It's been time to hunker down. We're supposed to be on it. And not just one person. Well, don't worry, Jason will do it. Jason's just one person. There are a bunch of you out there and whatnot, and let's just call it what it is. You have not taken advantage of opportunities. You're endlessly talking about you're in learning mode. You're endlessly in watching mode, which just means you're endlessly in not doing it mode. Man, there's no excuse for that. Especially for those of you who live in major cities. Y'all are watching these cities up here, and as I said 2 decades ago, just become enclaves of gentrification. They are ethnically cleansing black folk out of everywhere. And I will say this directly, with every opportunity that you have received in the New Yorks and the Atlantas and the Dallases and the New Orleans, with all the opportunities that you have received, yes, I know you are targeted by white supremacy. But what I'm talking about is, by the way, if you know you're targeted, you're supposed to go into monk mode. You're supposed to hunker down in survival mode. You're supposed to be keeping every penny. You're supposed to be in refugee vigilante mode. And that's not what we're seeing, even amongst those of you here. Endless excuses because you're walking around aimless because you're trying to figure out how to fix the issue by looking at your phone. There's the problem. Trying to figure out how you're going to make things work by staring at your phone and sitting in front of your computer and don't chip a nail, and I don't want to do any manual labor. And meanwhile, these other folks are making entire gentrified states. When I started the Black Channel, I told everybody that California was becoming a gentrified state. Not just cities, a gentrified state. Since then, remember, I added other places to it, and it's panned out the way I said. California, gentrified state. New York, gentrified state. Florida, gentrified state. Texas, on its way to being a gentrified state. Not cities gentrified, the whole state. Now you're seeing something even more ominous. The rise of the mega cities.
What? Nigga, what?
You're now seeing the rise of the mega cities. Texas is the incubator of that right now, but it's far from the only one. We used to have a concept what they called twin cities. So Minneapolis, St. Paul, and some other places. America has always had twin cities where there was one city on one side, another city on the other side of the bridge. But now you're seeing the rise of the mega cities. It started, right now you're looking at that Interstate 45 corridor and what they call the triangle in Texas, Dallas, Austin, and Houston. But now they're, what I warned you all, people were sleeping on San Antonio, but it doesn't just stop at San Antonio. Austin got added to the mix in the last 10 years. But by the way, San Antonio's hit a population of 1 million, Laredo, Texas, El Paso, Amarillo. Amarillo is one that folks are not talking about. But by the way, y'all need to go check out what's happening in Amarillo, Texas. So for those of you who think you're smart because you figured out San Antonio exists, go look up the road in Amarillo. You're seeing the rise of the mega cities. You're starting to see San Antonio and Austin glum together. As a matter of fact, I was watching a video just the other day. Henry Cisneros and another fellow, they put together a group to make a paper to tell them that they need to start changing the infrastructure between Austin and San Antonio, because you're seeing all these places around Austin and San Antonio, particularly around San Antonio, that have populations of 100,000 people. In areas right outside San Antonio, there's several cities, municipalities that have over 100,000 people in them already. And these cities tend to glum together along interstate lines, so they want them to start making major infrastructure developments in San Antonio today to accommodate the link between San Antonio and Austin. San Antonio, Austin, Waco, Houston, Dallas. And you're seeing them all start to gel and merge together and glum together into this giant miasma of megacities, which affects everything around it. So it used to be that if you went outside the city limits, you could find cheaper housing or cheaper land. That's going the way of the dinosaur. Georgia has been lucky to a certain extent, but it really isn't, because we call it the Atlanta Metroplex, but in reality, it's really like a mega city. To be totally honest, if any of you who travel Interstate 20, you know that when you cross the state line out of Alabama, basically Atlanta's Metroplex essentially extends to the state line of Alabama when you follow Interstate 20. All my truckers, folks who travel for a living or just do what I do, which is really for a living, any of y'all who travel Interstate 20 in the last 10 years, you have seen as once you cross that state line from Alabama going into Georgia, or if you leave in Atlanta heading towards Alabama, you realize Atlanta's Metroplex, really the traffic stays heavy till you get to that state line. It doesn't really let up anymore. As soon as you cross that state line in the mornings, traffic gets thicker. So Atlanta is really a mega city of its own, has created a mega city around there of its own now. And I can go down the list. So if you think you got time to bull jive and play around and whatever, it's like, okay, don't you see you're already getting squeezed out everywhere you are? So the 2026 is going to separate the real from the phony. That's all. 2026 is going to separate the real from the phony. The folks who's sitting around and playing and they listen to Jason. Well, Jason, I mean, he cool and everything, but man, you know, it's rough on me. I can't really be doing all that. Okay. You can tell yourself it's going to give you that kind of time if you want to. You can tell yourself it's going to give you that kind of time if you want to. But these folks ain't doing that for no reason. They're not doing it for no reason. They're doing it for a specific reason. So for those of you who are here and been listening, it is survival. It is survival. You find one other black person who is not with the bull jive. Those of you who have credentials, my folks who got realtors, where are my realtors at tonight? Since I'm talking to those of you, where are my realtors at tonight? Do I got any realtors in Florida? Any realtors in California? Any realtors in Texas, Georgia, the places y'all complain about? Where are my realtors at tonight? If I got any realtors, give me the pencil emoji. If I have any realtors in here, everybody and their mama's talking about the crazy price of land and whatnot. Where are our real estate people? We talk about the damn lawyers. Where are just the real estate people? Where are they at? Where are just the real estate people? This is a damning commentary. One of the issues we've had is the alleged smartest people in the room, and yet when you start taking a look at things, not a whole lot of intelligence going on there. That means something. That's devastating. Well, we got one so far that I can confirm. Think about that for a few moments. Think about that for a few moments. That means something. That means something. Even for those of us who are here, a lot of you have not been holding yourself accountable to that. If you got a realtor up in Chicago, y'all take a look at what's happening in Chicago. Take a look at what's happening in the Midwest. Take a look at what's happening in the Northeast. Housing prices have started trying to move down in the Sun Belt because in the last 10 years, everybody moved down there. And a lot of housing has gotten built in that area. But guess what? In the Northeast and the Midwest, they didn't build anything. They haven't been building primarily because it's tough to get things built in those areas. Okay, well, those prices are not going to go anywhere. They're not going to go anywhere. So we got folk here and it's like, okay, man, look here. Where are our professionals at even amongst our group here? Where are people with credentials even amongst the group here? This is not a failing. Let me tell y'all something. For those of you who are like me, nigga, you had a half a century old. That at that point, what's not happening, that's not, you can no longer just keep invoking the civil rights generation for what you ain't getting done. Okay, they didn't pass down nothing to you. You've been listening to Jason going on 2 damn decades. What have you built to pass down to yourself? A bunch of excuses? You don't get to come to me and talk and complain about the civil rights generation. And then, by the way, have you kicked yourself in your ass and held yourself to account and to a standard? Have you done that? Or do you think that this is the place that sits up here and is going to give you spiritual reinforcement? Oh, Jason will give you an attaboy. No. No, you got to pull your damn weight. And that goes double for the men. Let me be very clear about that. That goes double for the men. Fellas, I don't want to hear about these broads. He got us broads! I sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
I don't want to hear about these broads. Fellas, I don't want to hear about the females. I don't want to hear about what they're not doing. I don't want to hear about what they're not getting done. I don't want to hear about them calling themselves boss babes or any damn thing else. I don't want to hear the crying and moaning about what the women ain't doing. Nigga, this is all on you. You're supposed to be coming to us showing us what you got. You're supposed to be coming to us talking about what you got popping. Every time, what that really tells me is you just looking for a chick to lay up with, and you think the internet's where you're going to get together in a group and just sit up here and wear the females down into just going ahead and laying up with you. Dude, look here. If a man ain't building, he shouldn't have bread, much less a female. If a man has nothing that he is building, he should not have water to drink, much less a female next to him. You're useless to both. And too many overgrown males, spoiled ass mama's boys, trying to figure out how to be useless and breathing. You need to validate yourself in the presence of other men. You need to demonstrate your value in the presence of other men, not in the presence of some chicks, which you're not validating either. You want validation? You want to prove something? You prove something in the presence of other men. You be able to walk in the presence of other men and show your paperwork is good. I should not have a realtor in Chicago and ain't none of the males ready to do no business, ready to make nothing happen. You'll sit up here and complain about Lincoln Yards. You'll sit up here and complain about the North Side. And then it's folks from across the damn country coming and investing in it and making something happen. And you sitting there in front of the TV with your broke down Xbox. Man, they giving the city away. Look at all these illegals they bringing here. They bringing the city away. Are you working with another black person up there? Just one. Is there a realtor in Chicago that you checked them out and they about that business and you've given them somebody to invest in? I did my film Gentrified going on a decade ago, people. I did Gentrified going on a decade ago. Had you all sitting there talking to realtors and talking to people, I had events, I had folks show up a damn decade later. Who's bought in? I can name 2 people that I can name for certain that I know. Listen, watch that film, took it to heart. And by the way, they're young. They're not old. Niggas in their 40s, a bunch of you bastards, I called you bastards.
Nigga, what?
A bunch of you bastards are retired military folk. You are a waste of a GI. Take their whole damn GI benefits. Because none of you have fought in a damn war. So it's not like we paid you to fight a damn war. Take their pensions, take their benefits. You're summarily worthless. You have a GI Bill that can be used. You got VA benefits that can be used, VA loans that civilians don't have access to, and nigga, your ass ain't did a damn thing. Now, how the hell is it that you can have a VA loan and a VA pension and you can't make a damn thing happen? So that's not enough. Tell the damn truth. You just want to sit your raggedy old drunk ass in Fort Hood, Texas, or Fayetteville or some other military town and chase around the local barracks sluts. Be some old nigga with a Camaro, and that's your life's ambition. And you'll sit there and complain, but you are summarily worthless. And there's a reason why you can't even brag about it. You can't even brag about what you're doing because you know damn well you show up here, I'm going to start asking questions. It's like, oh no, you're just a useless old nigga. But for everybody here, yeah, it's not about attaboy, get him, Jason. I need folks here who actually got something to deal with. It's been a decade since I did Black Empowerment 1. It's been a decade since I came through Nashville, Tennessee, when nobody was talking about Nashville. I was the only person anywhere outside of Davidson County who was talking about what was happening in Nashville, Tennessee. And now, a decade later, everybody and their mama is talking about Nashville. I gave you all the heads up when nobody was talking about Nashville. I came down through Nashville the day after I left Black Empowerment 1 in Chicago. After I left Chicago, that's when I came through Nashville. And that was a decade ago, which means it's been a decade of lead time. I talked about it as soon as I saw it. I talked about it as soon as I was aware of it. I talked about it then. I talked about it then. In the chat room, it's not about uninhabitable. It's about whether or not you got a plan for the land that you've actually checked with a real estate person and find out if it's feasible. This isn't about you having some harebrained idea. If you're going to do something there, yes, you can invest. You need to talk to some professionals about that. This is not for you to sit up here and go get you a loan and then throw a Hail Mary and hope for the best. You're supposed to do business. If you're going to go into real estate, you talk to real estate professionals. If you're going to go into construction, you talk to construction professionals. If you're going to go into IT, you talk to IT professionals. You don't try to reinvent no damn wheel, and you don't try to invent one. Folks are too damn old for that. If you want to know what's worth investing in your city or in your town, you go talk to some professionals who have some references and that people trust them and that their paperwork checks out, and then you go listen to what they got to say. Hey, tell them what you want to do. Folks, if you want to go into real estate development, just call a realtor. They deal with it every day. The real reason folks not talking to them is because they know full well the realtor's going to ask them, what's your budget? And all you can tell them, I ain't really got no money right now. Okay. You got weed in one hand and chasing a chick in your text messages and DMs on the other. And meanwhile, survival has slipped away. I will say this again. Tonight's the night to offend people. Folks in Atlanta, black folk in Atlanta, black folk in DC, black folk in Detroit, black folk in Chicago. People, if you cannot be bothered to invest in your city and the outsiders do, then the outsiders should have your city.
And deal with it, nigga.
If you are sitting there in your city and you come back to me as you have done for a damn decade with nothing but your excuses, Some of you have become bastard, baby-making, single mother sluts. And yes, I'm saying it like, dang, Jason is so real. It's reality. In the last decade, there are a number of you that I could name by name, but I'm going to let you breathe. And I might not let you live, but going to let you breathe for a little bit. You have become bastard, baby-making, single mother sluts. And you ain't did nothing. In the last decade, you figured out how to do that. You did figure out how to become yet another single mom slut. You did that one. Oh, wow. You're resourceful. And if that's the only thing you can come up with, then the outsiders should have your city. You should not have that because you were born there and somebody squatted you out in it. You should have it because you have earned it and because you have taken what is yours. But this idea that you can be the world's most incredibly articulately talented screw up and that Jason's going to argue that you should be allowed to eat whether you're a dumbass or not. No, you should get what you've earned. And when it goes year after year, decade after decade, and that happens, that's a problem. When that happens, that's a problem. So I want you all to be aware. I'm not sparing no blows on this here tonight. The folks sitting here, I'm not talking about the greater society. I'm not talking about dumbasses you saw somewhere else. It is on you. To the people listening to me, for those of you listening to the new black media, intelligent black society, B1 society, this is not on the boomers. This is not on the civil rights generation. This is not on the coons. This is not on the folk at your job. This is on you. The responsibility for results and the blame for lack of results, this is on you. And I want to say this to the young. I got to say this. A lot of folks not going to like this tonight, but this is in keeping with my long-standing code of everything. The next words I'm about to say are specifically directed not even at the millennials, but at Gen Z, Gen Alpha, to those of you who are either in high school or college. Gen X, help stop things, but I do not want you to think you can trust my generation.
What? Nigga, what? What? Damn!
Many in my generation have taken on the bad habits of their parents and their grandparents. They have become sloppy and nasty, diseased, lazy. Intellectually lazy, defeated. They have an Xbox controller in one hand and bad habits in the other. They wish to be perpetual children. And this sounds so familiar, what you hear the boomers say. But what I'm saying is that to individuals, they're on social media 24/7. They post up memes. Beware of a male over the age of 40 who frequents porn. Take a look at what he looks at on his phone and then see if his life has produced anything that you would want to trade places with. It's not enough he got something. Would you want to trade places with him? So of Gen X, there are many who have helped stop the vicious cycle, but I warn you, there are also many who have become diseased and corrupted, and they are now just clones and replicas of the old niggas that they complain about. They complain about the old niggas of the civil rights generation, and they have simply become the younger niggas of the civil rights generation. I'm warning you, watch for them. Do not deceive yourself into thinking that simply because they're not part of the baby boomer generation, or the civil rights generation, that they're okay. No, check the paperwork, check the documentation. We got plenty of corrupted, beaten, defeated, zombie-ized Negroes who have been infected. To the millennials, many of you are starting to become the same, particularly those of you over the age of 40. Many of you are the same. So I'm warning those after the millennials. You better watch out for them folk there. When I say watch out for the old niggas, I mean the ones older than you. You assume things. What you assume is that if somebody has lived to the age of 40, then those 20 years of adulthood, he must have learned something, right? I mean, certainly he didn't live from the age of 18 to the age of 48 or God forbid 58, and that nigga didn't learn a damn thing. And I am telling you, you have a sizable part of the population, probably over half, they have lived from the age of 18 to 48 or 58, and they didn't learn a damn thing. No, you assume they got some wisdom. You assume they got some knowledge. You assume they got some seasoning. You would assume that, and you're dead wrong. They did not learn anything. All they did was get older, but they didn't learn anything from their decades of living. They're just as dumb, ignorant, irresponsible, incompetent, unknowledgeable, incapable, and useless at 48 as they were at 18. Their life was a waste. But they don't come with a t-shirt saying, hey, I wasted my life. You need to be wary. Do not deceive yourself into thinking that simply because they are older than you, that they're on the ball. Do not deceive yourself into thinking simply because they're not baby boomers, they got their act together, or even that they've got any knowledge or wisdom to pass down to you. I have young people in their 20s who call me literally every single week on my other YouTube channel. Yeah, because they daddies who are my age ain't got a damn thing to teach them. Their mamas who are my age have not a damn thing to teach them except decades of slutting and whoring. They learned nothing. So I'm just letting y'all know tonight, oh no, it'll be survival of the fittest. I am not going to take it easy on anybody. Gen X? And I am a member of Gen X, and I am warning everybody, there's a whole bunch of you Gen X niggas. You are useless. You have just accepted your fate. You've done nothing. You've achieved nothing. Your children will be equally or worse useless than you. I'm warning everybody, paperwork check. Paperwork check. This is not an age check or a generation check. Nigga, it's a paperwork check. What about those of you who are in your teens or your early 20s? You're like, Jason, I'm just starting out, man. I'm trying to get this thing together. Your job is to demonstrate that you understand where the real is. Your job is to demonstrate you understand where the real is. You need to be interned under niggas who got something going. I don't give a damn if you spend most of the month by yourself. If you have one night to be around us, you need to be there. And to the best of your benefit, engulf yourself in that environment. You have to detox from the failed niggas around you. Folks who are used to talking. And after a decade, they're still talking, and they're going to have you talking for the rest of your life. Now you just talk about what you would have had and should have had and what you wish and will never achieve. With a dollar that will be worth a whole lot less 10 years from now than it is today. While you're listening to dudes sitting up there, they're already beaten. They're already useless. They're never going to change. They're too old. They squandered their time. They're not just set in their ways. They squander their time, so they don't have any time. Every once in a while, I get some dude in his damn 50s contacting me. Talking about, Jason, what should I do? He's in his 50s. In their 50s. And then invariably, I'll go check up on them, look at their Facebook timeline. Because old niggas is like, the old niggas of the civil rights generation, they didn't have a cell phone. They didn't have an email. The old niggas of the civil rights generation didn't have an email. The old niggas of Gen X don't have an Instagram or a TikTok. That's the way that goes, y'all. So, you know you one of them if you ain't got an Instagram or TikTok. Now, that's the old niggas there. They got Facebook. Hey, baby, what's your Facebook? You know it's Gen X or older if they don't ask you if you got Instagram, they ask you if you got Facebook. Hey baby, you got my DMs? You got Messenger? So I want you all to be very wary across the board. And if I've never said it before, I have said everything I said tonight. I've said it before, by the way. I'm reiterating it. Going forward, paperwork check. Going forward, you get together with one other person. Going forward, you make sure they're serious. Going forward, we're not letting Gen X off the hook. You can't be in your damn 50s still complaining about what the civil rights generation did not do. We acknowledge what they did not do, but that is no excuse for you. Yes, it will be harder for you. Yes, it will be more difficult. I'm going to check and see your work ethic. I want to see your work ethic. I want to see your network ethic. And invariably, when I see individuals who ain't got a damn thing, I mean zero going on, I also find out, by the way, hey, dude, your work ethic doesn't have one. Network ethic doesn't have one. But he sure is trying to beg up on some sex from some size 22 bastard female. Gen X, the free ride is over. It's been over. You will not get the benefit of the doubt. There is no doubt. I'm not going to let you fool these young folk out here in their late teens or 20s into thinking that you were just put upon or you were just unlucky. No, you were not. If you all encounter somebody over the age of 40 and they still struggling, that's not unlucky. That's unuseful. They had the same damn 20 years you got now. And look what they did with it. You're not supposed to be as clueless at 40, as useless at 40, as incapable at 40 as you were at 20. What the hell did you do with the previous 2 decades? Not a damn thing. And I'm not going to tell these young folk to give you a pass for that. Like they say on Game of Thrones, incompetence should not be rewarded with blind loyalty. It also should not be rewarded with sympathy. Everybody gets knocked down. I got knocked down more than once. And I ain't never kicked nobody when they're down. But by the same token, I expect you to get back up. I don't know what it was that might have knocked you down. And maybe it's completely wrong that it did knock you down. I will accept that. I also accept that you have a responsibility to get back up. It's not just a good idea. You have a responsibility to get back up. Don't tell me about how you got knocked down. Don't come back to me a year later talking about what happened last year. I need to know what you're going to make happen going forward. Everyone gets knocked down. You're not special. You're not special. You're not a snowflake. You're not unique. Everybody gets knocked down. Everyone. You just the nigga telling yourself what your parents said. When I got knocked down, so he riff on me. Wish a female would come over here and comfort me. That's the problem right there. See, them females, they be booing up with their dudes coming across the border from Mexico. They be hugging on them and they believe in him. And I believe in me. Like you're a damn 6-year-old. A grown man is not supposed to be going around looking for folks to coddle him. A grown man is supposed to have bad experiences. I meant what I just said. As men, we're supposed to have bad experiences. We're supposed to have difficult experiences. We're supposed to be formed by our ability to overcome adversity. How can you overcome adversity if you never had a bad experience? Your value as a man is predicated upon your ability to overcome bad experiences. Those are the adversities. You're not supposed to be avoiding them. You're supposed to be looking for them so that you can prove your worth. So you can prove your mettle. You see, as a man, you're supposed to come back and show your stripes and show your scars and show that you've been on the field. That's how you get respect among the men. You're supposed to sit up here and show that you've been out there. You've been dodging the bullets. Sometimes you got hit by a few of them. You got shrapnel. You got burns. You watched the movie Rambo. What happened when you got to the police station? Them Penny Mayberry cops, they were laughing till a soldier took off his shirt. They saw all those scars on him like, where the hell has he been? Do you see him? Look at all those scars all over. Where the hell has he been? Someplace you'd never survive looking at, much less living in. And when he was ready to leave that police station, wasn't nothing nobody could do to stop him. That's what those scars gave him. He didn't get there because of wishful thinking. He was able to walk out that police station, walk straight through them cops because of those scars. If he didn't have those scars, he would not be able to do that. Too many males today want to be supermen, and they don't want to be able to stand up to kryptonite. Too many fellas want to be the Punisher and don't want to take no bullets. That's the problem. You want to be invincible? You become invincible by walking through fire, not avoiding it. You will become invincible in the flames, not standing next to them. You'll become fearless walking through your fears, not standing to the side of them. And we got a generation, 2 generations of mama's boys trying to figure out how to be world conquerors, never touching a fire, never cutting their fingers, never shedding no blood. You think you're going to be a warrior and you never shed any blood. Everything's going to be like in the movies. You're going to be John Wick, is shoot from 3 miles away. I'm never under any threat of being harmed. Everybody sees you coming, dude. You ain't going to be able to sneak up on anyone. If you're going to take them, you're going to have to take them with your blade. You're not going to be able to snipe them from a mile away. You're going to have to bring your blade with you. You're going to have to learn how to be quiet. You're going to have to learn how to be stealthy. You're going to have to sneak up on them. And you're going to have to learn how to do this hand to hand. And that means you are going to get hurt. You are going to get cut. You are going to bleed. You're going to have broken bones. You're going to have sleepless nights. You're going to have aches and pains, some that will stay with you for the rest of your days. That's what you're going to have to do. And I'm warning all of the young millennials and all of the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I'm warning you, you better get scars on you and don't trust the nigga that ain't got any. Don't trust anybody that you can see is obviously avoiding them. Get with some folks who've been through bad experiences. And here's the critical part. Not just they had bad experiences, they came out the other side. And that doesn't mean they tell you, I've been through some bad things and I survived. Survived is not the thing. You need to get with some folks who went flat ass broke and built themselves back up to a place you would want to trade places with. That's the key. Do you want to trade places with them? Don't listen to anybody who doesn't have what you wish you had. Oh, that hurts a lot of folks' damn feelings right there. You can scream about it, nigga. I am not going to mislead these young people. Do not listen to an older person who isn't living the life that you yourself want to live. You are not going to get taught how to get the life you want to live by somebody who ain't living it. If they are living the life you want to live, that's the person you listen to. Don't listen to some old bastard who screwed off their best productive years tell you that you shouldn't listen to somebody who's succeeding on moral grounds. Let me tell you, that no good flexless face heifer failure sitting next to you trying to tell you that is the most immoral person in the room. The most immoral person in the room is the person who tells you don't listen to the people who have succeeded. That's the most immoral bastard in the room. The most immoral one. The most immoral person is the person who tells you that succeeding doesn't matter, that there's something more valuable. So to any young person, rule number 1, don't listen to somebody who ain't living what you want to live. You need to know exactly what you want. You want that Bentley, you go get it. You want that Rolls Royce, you go get it. You want that penthouse, you go get it. But you listen to somebody who knows how to get one. Ask yourself, wait a minute, does this dude have that? Does he have it? Because if he ain't got it, how the hell you gonna teach me, bruh? Don't be like these females falling for a good rap. There's a bunch of young males who got took in by older dudes. All they gave you was a good damn rap. You learned the hard way not to listen to somebody talking. You learned the hard way to start having standards. You learned the hard way to start having standards. That's what you do. You learn the hard way about that. That matters. And by the way, while I'm talking about this here tonight, I think this is a good opportunity for me to cover this subject as well. I covered this recently on Patreon, and I just showed somebody in the chat room a lifelong lesson about that. I also want to discuss the rules here. While I'm talking about everything else, I might as well go ahead and talk about this too. I want to talk about the rules here. A lot of you may not like some of the things that happen with my moderators in my chat room, and I do understand that because I have some goofballs in here. What? But needless to say, sometimes the ADHD starts kicking their asses. But my mods have rules that I give them. My rules are not things off the top of my head. They actually have to go to mod school. Some of them just flunk out, but in any case, my rules are not fluid, and I have my rules for a reason. I don't have the rules for no reason. I have the rules that I have for specific reasons, and that's it. The things that will get you banned, the things that will get you timed out. I haven't ever done this before publicly, but tonight, now that we're in 2026, I'm going to go over this once with everybody, and maybe I'll post the rules one time, but I'm going to go over this because it explains to you why I do what I do, because I don't do it for no reason. What gets you banned is, you all know, disrespecting the host, but disrespecting the host does not mean disagreeing with me. That's not disrespecting the host. Disrespecting the host is not disagreeing with me. Disrespecting the host is Jason is stupid, Jason is gay, Jason is a white man, Jason is a coon. Okay, well, that's disrespecting the host, is trolling. Disagreeing with me is not disrespecting me. Never has been, and it isn't now. Some ADHD mods sometimes don't get that, but like I say, if you got dropped on your head with a 50 Jack Daniels, you'd probably be slow too. Damn! Saying that, telling folk that you're going to go to another YouTube channel. If you say something like that, you're just going to get banned. You want to go to another YouTube channel, I'm going to help you stay there. If I suspect it's a bot account, you already know that. And oh yeah, by the way, if my mods ask you to clarify something, you all already know this. If we call you out to clarify something, that's not my mods talking, that's me talking. If my mods ask you to do something, please understand, that's not my mods doing that. That's me doing it. When my mods tell you that, they're not doing that on their own. That's me telling them to do that. I'm hosting my program. I'm not going to stop and vocally say things every time. If my mods say something to you, please understand that's me. If they're asking you something, that's not them. That's me talking. They're doing that for me. Which is why you all see it's very, very rare they ask you something and it goes away. Then you'll hear me say it's like, oh, I'll be damned, that really is him. Now let's go ahead and talk about one other thing, because there's a fella in the chat room just got removed. He just got banned because there's some folks who think they're slick with certain things. I got folk who love my program, but just understand I got damn near as many haters who tune in live as folk who like the program because they hate watch. Then they think they're really slick in the internet era, that they think they found some low-key, really slick ways of disrupting the program. So they'll start time wasting things, or they'll start trolling things. Like the clown who said that there was no sound. Let me tell you something, folks. You get banned when you say that. If there's no problem with my audio, if my audio is good and you get in the chat room and say there's no sound, I know what you're doing. You're trying to disrupt the program because you don't like it, because, yeah, you're an overgrown fruit booty mama's boy who realizes you're a failure, and then you show up, and then all of a sudden you feel bad because what I said done hit you in your feels, and you're incapable of adjusting to manhood. So, well, I'll just troll instead. Jason, I don't hear nothing. And you're hoping that I'm going to stop the program and say, hey, is my sound good? Is my sound good? Yeah, nigga, you thought you was smart. You ain't smart. I was able to stop you with that. Hee. Nope. Here, if my sound is good, you just get banned because we know what you're doing. Well, Jason, I might be really that dumb. Okay, well, you'll go with them. If my audio is good, if you're the only person saying you don't hear anything, Yeah, the audio's fine. Well, I don't hear nothing. You better make sure that there's no problem, because if the problem's on your end, I realize what you're doing. Other hosts might not, but for me, if you say there's a problem with the audio and there isn't, I see what you're doing, and you'll get banned. Don't bother asking to come back. It's like, we saw what you did. Hey, about you. You ain't about unity. You get banned and folks, you ain't being unified. All right. Another thing that trips up a lot of folks sometimes, I will explain this tonight, mentioning other YouTubers in the chat room. This is another one of those subversive tactics. People who don't like my program and they think that they're going to siphon off my audience. So they get in the chat room and then they start talking about what we need to do. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They think that they're going to recommend me to other people or recommend going somewhere else. That's their goal. We'll start recommending other channels. Ooh, y'all know old Booty over here, he got some good stuff too. Or they'll mention things like that. So that's why I have a rule against mentioning other YouTube channels like that, because that's a tactic they use to try to siphon your audience. And these are petty things, people. These are not things that, disrupt a channel in one day. No, these are petty things. But I let you know I'm aware of it. So it's like, yeah, you think you're going to lead the audience somewhere else. Hey, y'all. Jason had a great show tonight. I'm going to Fresh and Fit. Jason had a great show. I'm going to this YouTube channel. So there's the reason why I don't allow that. There's a reason for it. So to everyone who wondered what that was about, that is a tactic that is used for that purpose. That's a tactic that's used for that purpose. And I have my mods with that rule for a reason. In the chat room, Rosalind, just understand this is for your own good. I'm timing out Rosalind because she just violated that again, by the way. I have a rule about being off topic. Other YouTube channels might be very lenient about letting people just talk about anything that comes into their heads. They can just come to the chat room and just say anything that comes in their heads. I know that a lot of folk are very lenient in their chat rooms. I am not. If that bothers you, oh well. I am not going to get lenient in my chat room. My chat room needs to be a place that people see, hey, these dudes are different. They're like Nation of Islam. They're a lot more disciplined. It's like, yeah, because we're here to actually get things done. So just saying random things and really kind of venturing far off from what I'm talking about, and you think there's a subject you want to talk about and you're going to use my chat room because nobody listens to you either online or in real life. My chat room is not where folks try to distract people, try to be subversive, try to get attention for themselves. Another thing about attention for themselves is tagging a bunch of people. Damn! Another issue is when you go tagging a bunch of people, folks. If you come in the chat room, that's all right. If you come in the chat room, that's all right. Don't come in the chat room tagging 8, 9 people. Them folk didn't say anything to you. Being like the old lady at church. That's not what we're here for, folks. It really isn't. It really isn't. This is not the place to be the little new old lady. Hey, hey Gertrude. Hey Isabel, where's going? No. So if you come in the chat room, and it would be different if those folks only said that to one person, but they'll say it to one. They either say it to 10 different people, or they say it to one person and then another one and another one. Hey, if you're lonely, go answer your DMs or something, but don't come here and be the little old lady in church trying to shout out to everybody. Don't do that. Don't do that. Jacques, that's the reason why it takes a month to be approved for it. So yeah, specifically for those issues. But tagging a bunch of people, don't do that. Calling it, if you want to call people to your attention, you got a YouTube channel, you got social media, do that. Don't come here and do that. Because then the chat room, if you tag 5 people, next thing you know, the chat room has got, you're one person, there's 5 other people responding to you, there's 6 people having a conversation that has nothing to do with what we all came here for tonight. So if you're going to go into business for yourself, you got to do it on your own page, not here. So for those of you who wonder where that rule came from, my mods are not freestyling. That came from me. And now it's been explained to you where it came from. Other YouTube channels don't mind, then you need to be there. But if you want to be here where they're disciplined and stay on message and everything rolls smooth and stays focused, unlike those other places, it's not just random streams of consciousness, okay, then you got to be focused too. If you picked up bad habits from another place, don't bring them here. Another thing there is also, like I say, if folks are off topic also includes RIPs. This is a rule that goes, now I'm not obtuse about that. This is a rule though that goes in conjunction. If I mention something, then it's okay for the chat room to talk about it. If I mention it, if I mention another YouTuber, okay, I can understand why you're talking about that. I mentioned it. Okay, makes perfect sense. If I talk about somebody who's died, then I understand why you're saying RIP. Folks, I'll be sitting in here, and once again, folks going into business for themselves, you saw somebody die today, and then you decide to come into my chat room because you're grieving over some celebrity who doesn't know you from a can of paint and talking about RIP to them. If I didn't mention them, you shouldn't be mentioning them, because one more thing, you are assuming that I'm okay with that person. Damn! One more thing, you're assuming that I'm okay with them. You're assuming that I'm on the same page with you about, yeah, rest in peace. I might not feel that way. I might have a different opinion from you. I might have a different position. So if you come into the chat room and decide you feel mournful, so you're going to use my chat room to gush to everybody else, no. Now, if I mention them, hey, that's fine. If I mention another YouTuber, that's fine. Come into the chat room and it'll be all right. Well, Jaden, this is important. Nigga, you better go back to your grandmama house whining. You don't come here and tell me what's going to be important or impose that on the chat room. So some folks there with those little control complexes and those little Napoleon complexes, well, this is important to me. Everybody need to know about this. We do not need to know what time it is in Istanbul. We do not need to know about your whatever civic cause you have. Somebody was in here earlier tonight. We had to kick him out talking about Kashmir. So we got some folks from East India in the chat room who had to get removed. Stay on topic. And if I didn't mention those two types of things, yes, it's not cool. Well, Jason, why are you singling out those two topics? Now you know why. All caps, once again, you're trying to bring attention to yourself. That's not cool. Let's not do that. Last but not least is getting called out. Folks, if I tell you to call in, you all know the rule. Most of y'all got it now. That is not a suggestion. That is an order. This is the place that does what others don't. If you disagree with the host, you will not be banned. But if the host or his mods say you have to call in, no, you're not going to get banned for disagreeing with me. You will get banned if I ask you to call in and you don't. Because now I'm going to say, oh, you're just trolling. If you actually have a point, don't open your mouth if you ain't got a point. If you have a point, you should be able to defend it. If you cannot defend it, oh, you think you low-key slick trolling. Oh, that's just going to get you banned. So once again, we run a tight ship. We run a tight ship here. Other people may run a very loose ship, a very lax ship. The sailors don't tie their tennis shoes. They don't straighten their tie. We run a tight ship here. So no, you will not be banned for disagreeing with me. But you will get banned if you are asked to call in and you decline or you refuse, or your phone can only work in the chat room. Well, then your phone's going to work for the rest of its life outside the chat room. You see, we didn't get the rest of the country's attention by having everybody going into business for themselves. They take us seriously because they see we have the ability to be disciplined. That's the difference. When they come here, they see folks who are disciplined. They see people who are moving different. They hear a common thread of thought and a common stream of thought. It isn't just a bunch of folks talking all over the place, laughing and giggling in the chat room as a disruptive third grade classroom and whatnot. No, you come here and it's supposed to be the disciplined adults. So we run it in that manner. I understand the majority of YouTube simply doesn't. Well, let them be the out of control, unruly third grade classroom. We're the special forces here. We're the special forces. And that means that we demand discipline. We don't want to be here without discipline. I would not want to be a member of this channel without rules. I would not want to be a listener to this channel without rules. I myself, I wouldn't want to be here. I don't like going other places that don't have any rules, any structure. Everybody can just do whatever they want to do. How the hell do you get people on message like that? And they don't. So for those of you who were wondering, now you've heard the explanation. By the way, that's not everything, but those are the biggest things that I think that people may have an issue with or have complained about. And now you had it explained why that's there. The rule's not there for no reason. It's there for a specific reason. Everything that they have you do, these are things that I have seen people use as tactics to be disruptive and this, that, and the other. And that's why I bring it to your attention. That's why I bring it to your attention. Now, I'm going to let you all vote whether or not I should ban Reginald, because I want you all to understand things like that. That's what I mean right there. Some folks think they're the class clown, and some folks think they're smart asses. And, oh, he said he don't like that? You tell him, Jason. Okay. So I want y'all to understand, do you think that was accidental? Do you all think that you all just heard that now? Do you think he did that accidentally? Or do you think that was a bunch of sissified mama's boys like they hood rat ass slutty mama? You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I mean, folks, where do you all think that comes from at these black restaurants? You have a black man in Dallas who has a nice, classy black restaurant. What's the first thing the hoes who show up do? He says the same thing the white restaurants do. Nigga, you ain't nothing a nigga like me. I ain't got to respect your damn rules. That idea that you treat white folk with respect, but then when you come around us, all of a sudden you're offended. Who the nigga think he is to have rules? Just because my life is stupid and I don't take a bath. Okay. So I want you to understand there's a lot of folks who are offended about that because the idea that they're screwed up in the head and irresponsible and sloppy and we're not, that offends them. So they look at black folk who got their act together and they're hating and contemptible and offended. Two knees, you can just send me an email. By the way, folks, one more thing. If you think that you can do a better job than my mods do, send me an email at theblackauthority@yahoo.com. Just subject line, I want to be a mod. If you don't like the job the mods are doing, and I can understand, and if you think you can do better, once again, I give preference to folk I recognize because I don't want overzealous fanboys or overzealous fangirls. I don't want that. I want folk who show up on a regular basis. You're here every week. Don't ask to be a mod if you're not here every week and if you won't be. But if you think you can do a better job, you can email me. As a matter of fact, I want my mods to put that information in the chat room. If you want to be a mod, email Jason at theblackauthority@yahoo.com with the subject line, I want to mod. So my mods can go ahead and do that. If you think you can do a better job, well, then prove it. Don't talk about it, be about it. If you don't like it, don't say, well, Jason never gave me a chance. Okay. If you don't like it, why don't you go ahead and prove it? Don't complain about it. Do something. Because you all know me. I don't just sit around complaining about it. I do something. I do something. So that's a whole different thing. By the way, in the chat room there, once again, as you can see, my mods just showed you all the rules. So Reginald got to be the latest example. We're making an example out of Reginald. His mama got into him. Reginald is wearing his G-string thong tonight. He's wearing his G-string thong, you know, when they get sassy and they're sitting in front of the mirror. Jason Black with his damn baritone telling me what I can't do. Watch, I'll show him. I'll type it all caps. I mean, they just crash out. I mean, they just totally crash out. This is why your daddy didn't come back from that cigarette trip. When your daddy left to go get cigarettes, this is the reason he didn't come back. Just wanted you to know there, by the way. When he left out for cigarettes, Reginald, that you act like your mama. You're sassy and infantile. Your dad like, oh, I can't do nothing with this little nigga. I can't do nothing with this little sassy, hairless nigga here. He sits here talking back like this broad over here. I can't do nothing with you. In the chat room, Cal Stoney, you need to give me a call on Zoom. You got 2 minutes. You need to give us a call on Zoom. You got 2 minutes. So Cal Stoney has questions. He's going to give us a call here in 2 minutes. And by the way, since we've all been over the rules, now that everyone knows what the rules are, everyone has properly set expectations. Now, here's the thing. Well, Jason, why didn't you post the rules before? Because I really didn't think I needed to. I mean, it's just like it should be obvious, and it really is. And as you all saw with Reginald, it is obvious. It is obvious with them. They do know the rules. They actually do. So it's not that a bunch of folks don't know. It's that a lot of folks just feel like, well, nigga, you black like me, and why should I have to observe the rules you've given? I don't like that. So it's not so much that everybody didn't get it. There's some folks who are just like, yeah, well, Jason, I don't think I have to do that. Okay, well, hey, respect my floor. These are my rules here, and they're not onerous. All I'm really saying is, folks, stay focused and stay on topic. If you really get down to it, when you really boil it down, that's what I'm saying. This is not the wild out spot, the crash out spot. You're in your feels. You're a grown man wearing satin drawers, and you're upset because I'm like, hey, dude, your satin drawers are not getting undone. That's what I'm saying. Simple as that. Simple as that. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom right quick. We got Deuce up here on Zoom. Let me see who this is. Deuce, are you Cal Stoney?
Yes, I am. What's up, good brother?
Okay, sir. You had a question, sir?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. I have been, so I got a daughter. She's 7. I have been putting her into learning about Kwanzaa as a celebration. However, these last it was like the last year or so, I've been pretty perplexed because so much Pan-African like heritage to it, tied to it, and I kind of feel like that's not really. I don't like to say it like this. But that's not really where I'm at anymore. I think that as being foundationals, part of this country, this land, our heritage is here, and trying to speaking Swahili or something like that. That's not my life. That's not her life. That's not our life. And I just want your perspective on continuing to celebrate this. I really think that maybe we need some other type of celebration of ourselves. Now, I do agree with the 7 principles. I think that they are very important things to collaborate with family, respect our ancestry, our legacy, our heritage. However, I think that Pan-African slant to it is really rubbing me the wrong way. So I'm gonna let you get your, talk about that.
Okay, well, first of all, brother, here's the thing to remember. Your children will follow your example, not your advice. So first and foremost, if you are confused about all this, they're going to be confused. At best, they will be confused. At worst, somebody else is going to straighten them out. And I don't know if they're going to straighten them out the way you want them to. So first and foremost, you have to sort this out for yourself. If this is not really a value that you have, I would say you're sending mixed signals, but it's going to lead to confusion, especially if your children think that this is a heartfelt conviction you have and you shaky the whole time. So you got to be on one side of the fence or the other. It's not going to be the end of the world either which way it goes. But if this ain't really what you standing on, they need to know this ain't really what you stand on.
That's a fair point. This is something I guess I'm gonna be pondering over this new year here before we celebrate Kwanzaa again at the end of the year.
Well, let me advise you all here, and I'm not telling you all you gotta do things the way I do it or anything like that right there. What I'm saying is that I was taught and raised by my parents to do things for a reason. That there needs to be a concrete reason that makes sense to you and that drives you for doing this. That you dug into this. I was encouraged as a child to dig into everything, the religion, holidays. I was not taught or encouraged to take anything at face value. And I was not taught or encouraged to do something simply because my parents did it. They were the first ones to say that. We're your parents, not your gods. That was what I learned young. So I learned, I investigated, and in the process of doing that, okay, if this withstands scrutiny, it'll stand. If what you're saying will withstand scrutiny, it'll stand. You all need to, first of all, not be afraid to question those things, but I'm also not a big believer in holidays to begin with. I'm not saying necessarily you don't have to be like me and wipe the calendar clean. I'm not saying that. But if you're going to have a principle, it needs to be real. And if it wasn't made by you, do you even know why you're doing it? Well, I agree with some of these principles. Now, there's a whole bunch of things you can agree with. The real thing is, do you agree with it to the extent that this should be observed as a holiday? Or is this just something that, this got something that I can agree with? But is this something that is a rudimentary bedrock in your life? Because the whole point of a holiday is you're supposed to stop what you're doing. The whole point of having a holiday is you're supposed to stop what you're doing. As if you were the people that this happened to in the first place. The founders, whatever kind of men they were, you can understand why they would stop on the 4th of July. But the quote observance is that the rest of you are supposed to emulate as if you were the founders, that event has the same significance to you that it had to them. Well, if it does, then I understand it. When you go to church, you're supposed to be doing the same thing. Okay, but what if you don't feel that way? Now what? And what I'm saying is don't fake it. If that's not really what you really believe in your heart of hearts, and that's not your conviction, then don't. Because as a matter of fact, the movement's better off without you doing that. Kwanzaa is better off without you doing that. Christmas is better off without you doing that. If you're celebrating these things and don't even know why, or you're not fully committed to it, it's better off without you. And this is coming from me as a person who doesn't celebrate much of anything. Christmas is better off without me being there. Just ask the Christmas people. They'll tell you. Not that I'm miserable. I don't go around telling folks, this ain't real. I don't do any of that mess right there. I'm just saying, if you're going to be with folks, wouldn't you want to be in a room with people who feel it the same way you do? Wouldn't you want to be with people who have the same conviction you have? Or do you really want to be in the room with folks who got half the conviction you do? Is that what you would want if you made a holiday?
Not at all.
Okay. Would you want folks who are half as happy to see your daughter's birthday? They showed up on their birthday, but they really just like, I can really take this little heifer or leave her. Is that what you would want, or would you want folk whom she means as much to them as she means to you?
Well, I want people to value, and I do. Like I said, principally I value it, but I think the ties to Pan-Africanism is where I have some reservation.
I need you all to glom onto a concept that I've been trying to teach now for 2 decades. You can respect things without following them. I can respect the founders without following them. I can respect what they accomplished in quotations, without following it. I can respect people's religions without becoming a member of it. And that's what I expect from other people. Brother, the problem with white supremacy is they don't respect you. They can respect you without, becoming black. They don't have to be black, put on a black scent, move to Harlem. You ain't got to do none of that. You can give me my respect without doing any of that. And vice versa. You can respect Kwanzaa or any other day, like the Indian holidays and stuff. The way they were doing Cash Patel and them and stuff, I don't agree with that. I'm not Hindi. I'm not any of those things. But I don't like what they did there. That's not cool. That's them people's religion. Yours shouldn't be weaponized against them. You should respect theirs. You don't have to become Hindu. You don't have to become a Muslim. But I can respect Islam without becoming a Muslim. I can respect the Prophet without becoming a Muslim. I can respect that Islam literally means to submit. Muslim, he who submits. Assalamu alaikum. I know all those things. Okay, he's not a Muslim. I don't have to be. I don't have to be a Muslim to respect what you're doing. I see the value in it. I understand the value in it. I respect Muslims because they tend to be more devout. As a Muslim once said, y'all know I said this a million times. He said the thing they don't like about Christians is Christians believe things but can't tell you why they believe what they believe. Muslims are required to do it. I respect that. Discipline. How can I not respect discipline? Why would I not respect it? Why? Because it's a Muslim doing it? I can respect that even if I don't like what they're doing, I can respect discipline in anybody. I can respect it. So from there, I want you all to glom onto that. That's not offensive. You can respect something without following it. So if you feel conflicted about religions and holidays and stuff like that, test what I just said and see if it makes sense. Is Jason right? Can I really respect this without following it? I think you'll find you can. It's no disrespect. I just don't follow it. But I respect what y'all doing. I know why you're doing it. I get that. Yeah, I agree with some of these things right here. These are valid concepts. The Tibetan monks were walking through Atlanta. I ain't gonna walk with them. I respect what they're doing. They're getting their exercise. I'm not gonna get out there with them. But I respect it. The Dalai Lama, I respect that. No problem. So if I were you, that would be the advice I would give you.
All right, Jason, I appreciate the insight, man. Thank you very much. Be one.
Thank you for giving us a call. Now, y'all, he is dressed like Cedric the Entertainer. What? He got the red and black brim on, so he's out somewhere cold with the overcoat. So he already got his uncle pictures going. He is fresh from some 50-something-year-old club. The club for the 50-somethings. He is fresh out the 50-somethings club, y'all. He's wearing the whole outfit, for the old nigga in the parking lot. Hey, what y'all doing over there? Hey, you got the little chubby chick. She used to be kind of cute when she was 22. Now she 54 with grandkids, and y'all know how they do that. Hey, come on over here, girl. Hey, what you doing there, Rufus? Hey, I'm just out here. I had to get the Cadillac out here. Right now. I had to get that 2012 S-Class around the corner, girl. I had to get them wheels done on it. Yeah, I just got it vacuumed out and everything. Got the tires on it. I got the 2012 S-Class on it. So y'all know that, y'all. He was dressed for it tonight, though. If y'all have seen him, he was dressed for it tonight. I done seen that my whole life right there. I'm like, I'll be damned. I done called him fresh. He didn't even let me see the light bulbs on the club.
What?
Y'all know like the 50-something club, they got like the light bulbs that go all around the door. Light bulbs and the neon sign. It had neon signs on the club in decades, but y'all know us from the half a century club. Damn it, you got one of them right there. It's neon lights it's bulbs all around the door and a neon sign. It's like that kind of thing right there. Everything you can see the damn place from 2 miles away. You see the place from 2 miles away, and they don't even need police. Damn. The good thing about being at the 50-something club is they don't need police. Them young folk need police. Them young folk need police and security. Man, at the old folks club, the damn security guard about 80 years old, he's sitting in a chair, the niggas asleep. The DJ, it's like nobody gonna get juking because their hips can't take it. They can stand around in the parking lot for hours. Like at a regular club, they clear out the parking lot. You don't want them YNs standing around the parking lot because you know it's gonna go down. I'll be damn. Niggas ain't shooting, they ain't fighting, no nothing. Just the old niggas, the young fellas get in the parking lot and have shootouts over this little young slut that they all slept with. Old niggas be in the parking lot like, yeah, man, you see old Donna over there? Yeah, bro. You know, back in the day when me and her were together, yeah, I was with her there in 85. There, I know, man. It's just, hell, everybody on the block had that. And old niggas sit there and be comparing notes about them chicks they were sleeping with. The young niggas be sitting up here shooting at each other, and the old dudes be telling each other stories. Yeah, you know she slept with Rollo too. Yeah, really? I'll be damned. She just said he was plumbing. Man, look here. That heifer got around, damn it. And she was giving him money. How did she ain't got no money to give. She got it from you, man. The three of them standing around for real. She got it from you. Remember that $1,000 you gave for a birthday? That old hoe. What the hell? Yeah, man. Yeah, she sure did, bro. That's how he got them rims on his car back in the days. You gave that $1,000. She kept $600. She gave him $400. Y'all know that, man. Y'all know that. Yeah, that's the 50-something club when you're out there and whatnot. Niggas don't trade bullets. They just trade rumors and gossip and old stories. They do that. So they do that. I ain't mad at you. Hopefully you live long enough to be able to get to one of them places like that. Hopefully you live long enough for that. And it's good. Look, once again, you do not have to be like me. I have never set foot in a club in my life. Knock on wood, hope I don't never have to do it. But if you're going to do it, man, I ain't got nothing wrong with that. Look, y'all, go to the club, go to the turn up. If you're out there on New Year's night, more power to you, man. More power to I ain't upset about that. I'm not upset about that at all. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I ain't cracking the whip on you. I'm not downing you. Go do your thing, man. But damn, do it after we do some building. Do it after we got some assets. Do it after we got some tangibles. Do it after we done took care of business. I mean real business. I mean consequential business. Do it after that. You got to earn the right to go to the turn up, man. That's how you get respected. When young niggas see that you always at the turn up and you think you're going to get respect, get the hell up out. They can't respect you. You earn that. Show them what you did for work. Show them what you did for them. Show them what you've contributed there. Now, and then after that, you done earn that. You've earned that once you get there. Go to New Year's, go to Turks and Caicos. Y'all go hang out. Hey, bro, that's cool. I don't drink. Hey, man, go grab y'all's glasses. I ain't mad at you for that. I'm not one of these teetotaling, clean living niggas who go around slapping people's lick out their hands and stuff. I'm not one of them. I don't go around doing that. I don't go around wagging my finger about your vices. Don't smoke around me. I'm not cool about that. Alcohol, I don't know, but don't smoke around me. It's just, if you're around somebody who doesn't smoke, don't do that. Especially somebody who doesn't do weed or anything. That's going to run me off. But I'm not here to slap it out your hands. You do what you do. Now, if you're going to ask to be around me, don't be surprised if I respect your habits. Okay, even if I don't like them, I respect your right to do your habits, but I can't do it with you. I'm not going to follow it. So, okay. But I'm not one of them folk, man. I don't do that. What y'all do, man, is it's New Year's night. You want to go turn up, go do your thing. Y'all go turn on your blues records. You go get you a hold of somebody's auntie. What? Once you start getting older and stuff, man, ain't no young chicks around no more. You got a hold of somebody's auntie. Man, 10 years ago, you weren't going to be around nothing with gray hair. Now it's like, damn, you starting to get colorblind. You starting to get colorblind. They used to have a few gray hairs so you could pluck them. And once they get older, it's like, oh, damn. The chick who's still on top of her game, she still goes and gets a rinse. The chick who goes to the hairdresser and still gets a rinse. When them chicks done gave up, they just let their hair go gray. So it's like, oh man. So now you just gotta go grab somebody's auntie now. Y'all know what it is. The young chicks, they got shoes with their toes out. All the older females, they all got them closed toe shoes with the sharp square with the sharp triangle on the front of it. They got the point on the front of them. It's like, yep, here we go. Like Damn Me Witch Hazel from Bugs Bunny. They show up and they got their toes. They got their pointy shoes on. The young gals got their toes out. When they get older, oh man, ain't a toe nowhere. Not a toe to be seen. No toes, no sandals. Oh, they done put on weight. She used to have some fly heels to wear. Now she can't do it. She done snapped the damn straps. The cankles done set in. That foot is sitting up in them damn sandals like a hot link. What? Oh man. Y'all know the sausage they put in the plastic at the store. They put in a little plastic cylinder. That little plastic package. It's like, oh, she got them feet stuffed in them sandals like that, boy. You cut the end of it and the meat comes just splurging on out. It's like, oh, that's what it's like with her foot up in there. That's what you get now. Once you get to a certain point, if you ain't on top of your game, once you get to a certain point, if you're not on top of your game, that's what you get then. Oh, man. And it's bad if you don't even really notice it or it doesn't really bother you. It's like you saw that foot and you just play past it. Man, when you was 25, you wouldn't have taken a cankle if a nigga had a gun to your head. A lot of you fellas, once you get in your 50s, I'm like, oh, you didn't even notice them cankles. You didn't notice the cankles, the cellulite, the high-by arms, the crow's feet. Nigga, you saw it and it's just like you just played right past it. It didn't even register. It didn't even register. Yes, sir, boy. He saw them size 14 hips. It didn't even register to you that she was doing that. Speaking of old folks there, let me go ahead and see. We got Prince out of Richmond up here. What's on your mind, Prince?
Yes, brother. I want to ask you a few questions. One is, how do you think the Nation of Islam was able to, how they able to be devout Muslims, but not lose their strong black identity? Because, it's just your opinion, because I've always been a bit baffled by the fact that they can be Muslims, but they don't separate themselves from us. Like when a lot of times when people become devout Christians, they like, oh, you got to believe just how we believe. They don't necessarily do that.
Yeah, I mean, for the Nation of Islam, I think it's like anything else. There was a leader who had a vision and he was disciplined. Okay. And he stuck by it. I mean, it's like anything else. Team reflects leadership. Whatever Elijah Muhammad's shortcomings were, and there were shortcomings,
Yes, it was.
I mean, you can't take it from him. He was disciplined. He was disciplined, and the folks around him reflected that.
Okay.
He led by example.
Yes,
That's probably the biggest issue that would-be leaders have. The reason they don't want to stick around folks too long is because they show up on Sunday, they show up for just a good hot minute, and then they run because they know they're not really living that life, and they don't really have much in common with you, which is why they're not around you very often, even though you're the quote followers. So leading by example is important. That was what Malcolm learned from him. That's what Farrakhan learned from them. They did not follow Elijah Muhammad because he was inconsistent. They followed him because he was incredibly consistent.
And getting it from where? I know he learned from Farrakhan Muhammad, but he just come up with this in his mind. He had a not a very high education. I love Elijah Muhammad, but where
there was something that he wanted, and I don't have privy into the personal parts of that, but I think it's just like anything else. He was a true believer.
Yes.
The bottom line was he truly believed what he was saying. He truly believed what he saw. At the very least, he truly believed in the efficacy and the necessity of it, if nothing else.
Now, yes, appreciate you, brother. Now, when you was talking about people following those, especially of our age group and older, or maybe in their 40s, that haven't produced anything, where do you stand when it comes to people that have been successful, but they are terribly flawed, extremely successful, but extremely flawed or corrupted, or they can't keep it? They'll accomplish it, and then they'll go back down. It's just a seesaw sometimes.
Well, that's because success comes in quotations. In a capitalist society, we tend to hook, quote, success to monetary gain. Then monetary gain becomes the end unto itself, and it becomes the reason for being. I think where people start to not like success is when it has diminishing returns or it becomes destructive. And that usually doesn't really signify itself at the beginning. That doesn't just always announce itself from the beginning. You find out later that you had a fundamental flaw that will ultimately be your undoing. That's usually how it happens. So you get a hold of something, you make very good out of it, it has a run, but you can't maintain it because you have a fundamental flaw. Yes. And because that never got dealt with, it's going to poison everything else you do.
Yes. We had that case dealing with veterans. They have a sitting senator who he was a special forces, but he wanted, and a lot of these guys get awards and they're fabricated. Okay. He was in Afghanistan, but everybody special forces don't mean they're actually fighting. They might be admin. They have special forces people, they're admin. He's a sitting senator now. This man back in 2015 went to a national park, shot himself in the arm to justify the Purple Heart he got 3 months before. And the dummy didn't even realize that people can hear you in a national park. And when he went to the hospital, he thought his records would be private, and they called the park that he said he shot himself at, a national park where he was only supposed to have weapons. So people will do anything to chase fame. He's a sitting senator now, Tim Sheehy. He's a straight up fraud.
Well, I mean, but here's the problem with that. The problem is that only matters in a society that respects authenticity. And if your society does not respect authenticity, then in reality, he is the representative of evil. As the old saying goes, you get the government you deserve. Well, have people ever considered that he is a proper representative of the people who elected him?
They elected him anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not an undeserving representative. He is perfectly illustrative of that region, those area, those people. So that goes throughout society. Yeah,
I guess you're right. Because like I said, he's from Montana and a straight up loser. He lies and it just sullies. We already have things dealing with veterans anyway, but you got people like him that just, it makes it worse. But thank you, Jason. That's all I want to ask you, and I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, Prince is not dressed for the club at all, y'all. He is not dressed for the club. So he's not going nowhere. Speaking of which, though, I need all my veterans out there. You are useless if you're not putting your benefits to use there, folks. You are useless. Jalen, you're talking about useless. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Before I get back over here on the phone again, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. My man Dionysus has been showing up here tonight. I appreciate that, brother.
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time.
Thank you very much for your support tonight, brother. I appreciate that here as well. Wayne Dowdridge, thank you very much for your support here also. Tommy Randall. Big shout out here to Brother Jean. It's been a minute since I seen Brother Jean. Some of my folks here on New Year's night, they either remembered me or they came out the woodwork. Sabrina as always. Thank you very much, sister. I appreciate you here. Also, Andrew L. and everybody else here. I know I got y'all up late. I'm trying not to clown too much. Here tonight. So, like I said, I had to go off a little bit, but I'm trying not to clown too much. All right, let me go ahead and see if we can get Jalen up here on Zoom for me right quick. Let me get Jalen up here on Zoom. What's on your mind, Jalen?
First off, let me say I'm very kind of nervous, but I'm a young listener. I just recently turned 20. I just want to thank you for your work. You've been a huge inspiration for me. I had a question, actually. You recently just talked about building something tangible. And I love to create art. I've always created art. I've even started making my own t-shirts. If I could show you real quick. But I only ask, my question is, even though I do art, I do believe like I can still make something tangible.
You'll have no choice in the matter.
Yes, sir.
People love to use phrases, chase your passions. I think that the last decade, hopefully, I'm one of the folks who said it 2 decades ago, but hopefully the last decade has put the lie to that. You need to be passionate about what you do.
Yes, sir.
So you need to find something that you are excellent at, and passion will follow. You know, if you're excellent at something, you become passionate about it because you're good at it. When you're good at things, people respect you. They come to you and things. And, you know, so even if it's not something you were thinking of when you were 14 or 15 years old, because a lot of these things that you're passionate about, those will be hobbies, but they cannot be professions because the market doesn't value it the same way. Might not like it, but you know, if you're going to support yourself, you have to go where your value is, and your passions will have to be hobbies. More likely than not, that's what you'll find.
Yes, sir. Let me just
unless your art is exceptional. Now, if you're in, like anything else in life, if you are in the top 5%, it's very likely you can make a profession of that. But once again, you got to beat out 95% of the competition, literally.
Yes, sir. This is like one of my designs that I've made into a t-shirt. If you even care about that, but I understand what you're saying. Even though like I do art, I go to Georgia State currently, where I'm taking art, and I'm thinking about changing.
I would not advise that at all.
Okay.
Very unlikely you'll be able to do anything with that. I need you all to understand what they didn't tell you in school and what you're going to find out here now. When you go to college, you can sign up for anything. They have a whole bunch of courses. What they don't tell you is that 90% of the curriculum is useless. You'll have a degree in it. You just won't get paid for it. Now what? Right. So you all need to be prepared for that, and what you're doing needs to be prepared for that. So art, liberal arts, social studies, psychology, all those kind of things, no. No. If you come from a wealthy family that money just doesn't matter, well, I guess you can because you're just going to go get your degree. But I don't even advise it under those circumstances.
Okay. Thank you for your time, sir.
Well, slow down for just a moment now.
Yes, sir.
Here's you don't want to have incomplete information. In the chat room, Goldie's Premium, I need you to get on Zoom for me. I don't want you to have incomplete information. Now, let me ask you, why did you give me a call tonight?
Well, other than like I've been a listener ever since like I was in middle school. I even though like I love creating art and I even make like my t-shirts. You said that we should be focusing on building something tangible, and I just started having doubts where I was like, well, if I like making art and I want to even make a business where I make t-shirts and even animation.
Why didn't you talk this over with your parents?
Well, I have. It's just that.
And how did that conversation go? And be honest. Just be honest. You're not being disrespectful, but how did that conversation go when you did?
Well, they encouraged me because they seen my artwork and they thought I was really good at it, and they really pushed me specifically to be an entrepreneur. And I've kind of lived with that. And I even with my art, I've like created posters for my local community center. And
good. That's very good. And as an artist myself, I would never discourage you from doing that. These are the things that give our lives value. These are the things that are personally fulfilling and personally enriching. And that's great. That's wonderful. And you should still keep pursuing that. But you also need to be clear and honest with yourself about what exactly it is you're doing. So there's not a lot that goes with that. And going forward, you need to be aware of what you're doing. So you being an artistic person is fine. You want to be an artistic person is creative. I just want you to be clear about what that means. The reason why I asked about your parents is because I was wondering what kind of feedback you got from them. And that was the thing right there is, are they preparing you for, the real world? Or are we telling you to chase your passions? Oh, this is something you're interested in. Well, then you should look into that without any real regard for what the real market is. Artists have always struggled. Let's be clear about that first of all. Artists have always struggled. So the real thing is, what are your skills?
Right.
No. That was not a rhetorical question. I'm asking you. Because you see, the fact that you're calling me, I'm willing to wager that you haven't had this conversation with your teachers. You didn't have this conversation with whoever you were talking to when you got oriented for college. I feel like they didn't have, I'm willing to wager they didn't actually have this conversation with you.
Not my teachers, no. Of
there
course.
You go. So the school system as usual, nobody actually put these things in the context for you to tell you what you could actually expect. And they just asked you, well, what do you want to do? We got a course for that. And in reality, that's not the way that works. Or at least you'll be sorely disappointed unless you're in the very top high percentage. And even then, you're going to have to find a place to use it. It doesn't matter how good of an artist you are. You have to find a place to use it. Well, I will go into business for myself. Well, it depends on whether or not you need, how many artists they need where you're at. I'll have a t-shirt shop, printmaking, whatever the case may be. Once again, that depends on if it's necessary or needed and how big the market is for that. I am a strong believer in having a solid skill set first, and these other things that may be more subject to the whims of the market and stuff like that, you make that a vocation and see if it is able to pay for itself. If it is, then eventually it'll float on its own. In the event that it isn't, then you didn't put your eggs in the wrong basket either. But I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. If you're looking for a future, you don't look to art. We look to STEM. We look to IT. Now we look to the skilled trades. And maybe you had not thought of yourself that way, or maybe your parents have never had that conversation with you because they're operating on the mindset that their son is not successful unless he has a job that doesn't do manual labor or something. And what I'm telling you is that if they haven't had that conversation with you, they need to. And if they haven't, I'm having it with you now. Toss all that other stuff out of your head. That is not going to be able to be what you're going to use. The future is really only going to be in that regard. You're either going to use STEM, I guess medicine, if you're interested in that, or the skilled trades, and that's really going to be where the overwhelming majority of what we do is going to be. Don't worry about all the AI stuff. Those things are not really vulnerable to AI. So that's another thing. The graphics you all see on your screen tonight, I didn't make those. I got an AI generator that makes it. So as an artist, that's something you're not thinking about. Photoshop is one of those things that is in danger because AI in a lot of ways makes Photoshop obsolete. And this is coming from me as a person who uses Photoshop. But by the way, folks asking somebody to make a picture for them anymore, think about that for a few moments. Why would they ask you to make a picture if they can just go to AI or, Clink or something and make one? Have you thought about that? That everybody has the ability to make their own images now. They can just tell the generator what to do and it will do the artwork.
Yes, I have thought about that. And I've had multiple conversations regarding that. It's just that the way I was going about it was, I've learned that if you feel, I guess, strongly about something, then you should own it. And because I do like clothing and I do like making artwork, I was like, well, I think I want to make a clothing business out of my artwork.
That's very glad to hear. Do you know how many other people have the exact same idea?
Correct.
So what I'm saying is that competition is very, very thick. I'm very glad we have restaurants. Do you realize that's probably the single most difficult business to get into is food service? You see a lot of restaurants, but by the way, it is a very difficult business. So yes. What I'm saying is that as a young person, that's not a skill. And if sometimes we tiptoe with you all because, we don't want to dash their hopes. I don't want to dash his hopes either, but I don't want to dash his life. I can count and I can do math. I'm not telling you give up art. What I'm saying is that cannot be your primary focus. That can be an auxiliary focus, but that cannot be, you can be whatever else you're doing and also do artwork. But that cannot be your primary focus. That's not the way it works. That's not the way the market works. And it was something even I couldn't do. And what I'm saying is that I wasn't fighting AI. I was just fighting other people in the system of white supremacy. So you're fighting all of that. And now you're competing against AI because even the graphic that you just showed me there, you can generate that. AI could generate that very easily. So what I'm saying is that that's reality. What you're saying needs to not be in conflicting with that. This might be something you really, quote, like doing. Young man, what you are going to have to learn very early is that you will not spend your life doing what you like. You're going to spend your life doing what you have to do. You're not going to go through the rest of your life eating candy. And no, you're going to spend the rest of your life doing what needs to be done. And sometimes you'll get to do what you want to do. But you need to get this in your head now. The majority of your time and focus will be spent doing what needs to be done, not what you would really desire to be doing otherwise. You will want to go to the beach. You will spend 99% of your time working. You need to work. You want to go to the beach. So you have to accept that now. If you don't, you will accept this in a decade. only you'll be in a lot worse position. You've wasted 10 years. And the only thing you'd be thinking about is, damn, if I had gotten focused, what could I have done with the last 10 years? I'm very glad your parents have not been stepping on things and been encouraging you. That's great. That's wonderful. I'm not encouraging you. I'm giving you direction. If you listen, this will go a whole lot easier because you're thinking about the long run. If you wish to be an entrepreneur, brother, the dollar you have today is worth half the one I had when I was your age. That means that if you're going to finance things yourself, you can't waste a day on something that's not giving you maximum rate of return. You can't do that. Skilled trades, and yes, carpentry, plumbing, electrical, you will get a very good rate of return on that. If you still want to do artwork after that, you can. If you want to be an entrepreneur, well, now you've got something that pays for itself well enough that you can actually do it. Since obviously you don't have anybody to give you the capital. That's why folks are patting you on the back, but they're not offering you no money. Or am I wrong?
Well,
your parents are offering to fund you. They're offering to give you some capital. I'd like to hear this. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, they are willing to support whatever I want to do.
To support it? No, I mean to pay for it, kid.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, yeah. And how much do they have to give you?
Well, I guess I don't know.
Okay, then what you're doing is you're talking nonsense right now. I'm not even going to be nice about this. So he's trying to cover for him, dude. Okay, let's try this a different way. This would be like if you had a job and you told them, great, how much does it pay? And they say, we don't know, but come work for us. Do you believe they have any money?
No, they don't have wealth. No, sir.
Okay, I don't know about wealth. Do they even have any money? You ask them how much they're going to pay you, and they say they don't know.
Oh.
Okay, same thing for your parents. If your parents had any spare money to invest in you, you'd be telling me how much they had to invest. You would not be telling me, well, they got it. Okay, obviously they don't. If they did, they would be having that conversation with you. You wouldn't be in art school right now if they had the money to set you up in your own business. Then what are you wasting time in school for?
Correct.
You don't have to go to school to make t-shirts.
Right.
You just need a silkscreen machine. That's all. They haven't had that conversation with you either, have they?
Well,
oh, this is bad. All this explaining and coping. This is not good. You're going to spend a whole lot of time wasting time in your life. I'm just telling you right now, this is not good what you're doing because this is you doing it, not them. Did they have a conversation with you about silk screening machine, sir? That's a yes or no question.
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. How much does it cost?
I think the average.
You think?
Okay. Well, it just depends because at my local community center, we was able to buy one, and they've been letting me practice on that one.
Okay, I'm very glad to hear that. He doesn't know how much one costs. Okay, but more importantly, neither do your parents. So I know you all didn't have a conversation about it. That's how I know you didn't. Well, we've talked about silk screening. You did not talk about purchasing equipment. You couldn't have. You just showed me you didn't.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, because they're not going to buy one. There's no reason for them to discuss that with you because they won't be purchasing one. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And I need you to focus on that quickly. If it does happen, you'll be the one who ends up having to buy it. Okay. Yeah, just get your head back in the real world here. If any of this is going to happen, you'll be the one who has to buy it. They'll just be sitting there talking about, oh, that's great and wonderful. And they're patting you on the back, but they're not offering to purchase anything. If they were, they could do it tonight. And why don't we just go ahead and get the silkscreen machine? And while you're going to school for something else, you can go ahead and work on your silk screening and whatnot. And, oh, well, you already got the equipment for it. Now, that's what folks do when they're serious.
Right.
When I was just a few years older than you, a man older than I am now told me something I did not want to hear. I still wanted to chase what I was doing. He told me that would not work. Even though I looked at him and I knew he was in a very good place in life, but I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I just ignored it. 6 months later, I was out of business altogether. That doesn't have to happen to you.
Yes, sir.
But it will if you ignore it. I would strongly recommend that you choose a trade to go into. Or if you go with computers, we can take a look in IT or something like that. I strongly suggest that you put your focus there.
Yes.
And then all this other stuff, you can still do it. We will do that on the periphery. We'll do that on the side. And if it's really viable, then it'll prove itself. You won't have to fight with it. If it really works out and the market is really there, then it'll be right there when you do it. If you're afraid to do that, it's because you already know. You already know that, now what Jason's saying is correct. Yeah, but I want this thing so bad. And what I'm saying is, yeah, because this is what I'm comfortable doing. You need to learn how to do things you're uncomfortable with. And you will become comfortable with it once you get the hang of it, which you will do. And by the way, I will say something that neither your teachers, and I suspect, I will not say definitively, but I suspect your parents won't either. I will stand behind every syllable that I just told you. As I have said, if you've been listening to me for a decade like you claim you have, you already know what I'm going to say. Call me back. If there is anything I tell you that does not prove to be 100% reliable and accurate, you call me back in front of everybody. And you tell them I was wrong. Of course, I will also demand to see proof that I was wrong. So far, I've never received that call. Not to justify one of the ones who tried it. We showed very quickly it wasn't right. But by the way, I will be right here when you do.
I doubt that would happen.
Okay. Well, I will stand behind every syllable you have heard me say tonight. If you follow my instructions, I will be right here when you get done so that you can come back and call and I will show you that I'm right. I'm not just saying this stuff to throw it away. Everything I'm saying will work out. If it doesn't, you call everybody and tell them I'm wrong. But we both know that's not going to happen.
Yes, sir.
So art is nice. That needs to be a side gig. You need to choose which one of the skilled trades you're going to go into. STEM, medicine, or skilled trades. You need to choose one. Jason, when? Yeah. Jason, I said when. I said yeah. But when should I start? Yep. That's my response to when you should start doing it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this conversation. Yes, sir. Sorry.
We need to make some changes, don't we?
Yes.
Okay. You called me because you were considering changing your majors. Well, your major. Or at least I believe that's what you were going to say.
Yes.
Okay. And when were you planning to do that?
I wanted to have a conversation with my parents as soon as they wake up.
Then I would like to hear back from you. I'd like to hear back from you next week.
Yes, sir.
Do you tune into my other YouTube channel?
No.
You might be a little young for the business, but I really take care of a lot more of this over there now for that reason. But if you're not subscribed there, maybe you should. But regardless, you can call me back here. I want to hear back from you in a week. That will have given you time to go talk to them about that and tell them what needs to be done and what do we need to do to get you going. Your conversation with them needs to be, Mom, Dad, what do we need to do to get me in that direction? I need to be in skilled trades. I don't want to discuss and I don't want to debate it. That's what needs to be done. So let's talk about what we need to do to get me in that direction. And I can do this other stuff on the side because you can go buy a screen printing machine. And that doesn't require a degree. Come on. You don't need a degree to do that. If you're gonna, that's what I'm saying. This is a waste of time because this doesn't require a degree. Just go get the machine and the way you do it. There's folks in the mall. There's illegal aliens in the mall working machines. You don't have to go to get $50,000 in debt at Georgia University to learn how to use a screen printing machine. And if you're going to do stuff for other people, you're not going to do the artwork anyway. They're going to bring it to you. And all you got to do is work the machine and do it. So you don't have to do that. If you're going to do that, this is not the way to do it. People who go into that business, they don't do it like this. So that's the first thing. This is not the way you do it. We're running around the airport, circling the airport 50 times instead of just landing. You will always be able to go back and make t-shirts. Listen to me. You'll be able to go back and do that for the rest of your life. There's no reason you can't. There's no reason you can't put that on the back burner and get something else. We can always go back and go. If what I'm saying doesn't work out for you, you can always go back and make t-shirts. How can I lose? If Jason's wrong, you can always go back and make t-shirts, can't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you can't go back and be 20 years old again, just starting in the skilled trades with the next 30 years in front of you. Now that you won't be able to do.
Right.
Talk to your parents. Talk to them about exactly what I spoke with you here tonight. And I would like to hear back from you next week. I cannot make you contact me, but I think you would be doing yourself a tremendous harm if you don't. I will be right here when you do.
Yes, sir.
Well?
Yes, sir.
What are you waiting around here for?
Right. Thank you.
Okay, let me be clear about something else here to remind y'all. Every once in a while, you got to watch out for you old, aged out niggas in Gen Z and otherwise. Let me be clear about something here to you. I will always stop and talk to Gen Z and Gen Alpha. I will always stop and talk to them. Anytime, any place, anywhere, as long as I need to. You know why? Because unlike your failed ass, they're not set in their ways. To the jackass in my chat room who just got banned for putting in all Z's and the other one talking about he's not going to listen, let me tell you, that's you projecting on yourself. The folks who are set in their ways and hard-headed and failed, they don't like hearing young folk because you start projecting your failed ways onto them. They're not set in their ways. They'll still listen. He called me specifically because he doesn't know it all. Find some jackass in Gen X or baby boomer. They think they know every damn thing. Life in a shambles, failed at every level. Nobody wants to be you. Damn sure don't want to trade places with you. No success anywhere. And they think they know everything. You start talking to them, it's like talking to a homeless person for mortgage advice. Let me make that a little more righteous.
Nigga, what?
You got all these damn homeless scholars and all these failed professors around here trying to tell you what everybody else is going to do and what's wasted on them. Meanwhile, you look at them, no success any damn where. He's in his 20s. He's just starting out. The difference between him and you is that he's a failure at the beginning of his life and you're a failure in the middle of yours. I am going to, first of all, the young man I just talked to is not a failure, so I just said that because it sounds cute. But no, he's trying to figure it out at the beginning of his life. You screwed it up in the middle of yours, and you're projecting that onto them. No, I'm going to talk to these 20-somethings because you can actually get a return on investment from them. They will actually listen. They actually are not set in their ways. They're not sitting here fighting and arguing with me and trying to tell me what they know. And what they're right about. And what Jason just don't get. They're not sitting there saying that to me. Find some dumbass in their 30s or 40s or 50s, and that's the first thing they're going to tell you is about what they know. And you can look at them and see, you don't know anything. You have no successes. You're still trying to figure it out. And then they get angry and upset and let's just say it jealous of somebody who has years that you screwed off and you wish you had. You wish you had your 20s to relive. Well, he's got his. You had your chance. That's the problem with old failed people around young folk. You're angry and bitter because you had your chance and you blew it. And now you're angry and resentful at somebody who still has theirs. And then you mad at me because I'm not angry at them. He's got his chance. I'm going to invest in him. He does not have to repeat Jason Black's mistakes from Jason Black's 20s. I will be glad to see that young person avoid my mistakes. He just needs the opportunity and space to be given. So yeah, I'm going to give them that time. This time, all the time, every time. When somebody from that generation calls me, I'm going to give them all the time they need. Because I got a much better chance on a return on investment from that time to give to them than somebody who wasted their 20s or 30s and still sitting up here with their failed behaviors and their failed habits. You have your failed habits that you refuse to let go of, but you can't because you don't know no other way. Let me go talk to somebody who doesn't have bad habits they need to break. They have ignorance that needs to be filled. They don't have bad habits that need to be broken. On a grown man that I have no authority to force breaking it on you. Let's go see if we can get Jamal here. I don't know where Jamal is. Jamal must have run off to go see Sally Struthers. Jamal, I'll give you 5 seconds to get over here on Zoom. Then we're going to go ahead and move on. Jamal, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to get over here on Zoom. And then we are going to move on. Jamal, I can give you 1 more second here on Zoom. All right, Jamal is gone for the new year. Folks, like I say, you calling up and you playing around and you live your life like that. Ooh, I'm making everything go along. You know, I'm doing 3, 4 things and excelling at none of them. He couldn't even make it through a phone call here. So there you go. Yes, all of us need to do that. When that young man is showing respect because he thinks he's found a reliable source of information. You damn right. When I meet that younger generation, I've told y'all for 20 years, I'm going to invest in the young. I'm investing in the next generation. When I was a member of the next generation, that was where I invested. I told y'all back then, to hell with the baby boomers and the civil rights generation. I done kept it up since then. The beat goes on. The young, I always have invested in them. I always will. That's where my investment will be. To the older folks, you wouldn't still be trying to figure it out 20 years later if you didn't have some bad habits that you're holding on to because you define yourself by your pride and your arrogance. That 20-something-year-old, that young man didn't have any pride or arrogance. He's got some bad information he's been given, but that's not his pride or arrogance talking. That's bad information talking. Okay, I can work with that. I can debunk bad information. I have no desire to fight with your bad habits and try to break you of bad habits. Invest in the young, people. Invest in the young and don't apologize for it. Invest. Stop trying to redeem the old. Go invest in the young. Got some old bastard up here who wasted their opportunities trying to shame you and nag you into redeeming them. Get you a young person who's like, hey, I don't know. I'll follow some instructions. Get them. Get some middle-aged person thinks they know it all and upset and angry at you for giving instructions. Now get you a young person who wants some instructions. Stop trying to get some old folk to like instructions. Get some young people who actually desire it. Because these older folk don't want instructions. They just want their way. Even if their way is wrong, stupid, failed, ignorant, asinine, doesn't work, messed up their kids, messed up the grandkids, they'll still do that. On Zoom, whoever Samsung is, you got 5 seconds to turn your camera and your microphone on for me here. Whoever Samsung is, there you go. Unmute yourself. This newfangled technology has you flummoxed. The microphone icon is in the lower left-hand corner of your phone. People, come on. Okay, why is it looking like Ving Rhames? Okay, I'm not going to sit here all night with this.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jason?
Yes, you're on. What's on your mind?
Oh, my bad. Man, I'm just calling in, checking in with you, man. I appreciate the podcast. I'm just at work right now, as you can see, and I'm sitting just now getting off.
Okay, what city?
You had asked me
what city you in?
I'm in San Diego.
Okay, there you go.
Raining cats and dogs, but it is what it is. And you see me, you can see me.
Okay, well, he's in San Francisco. All right, what's on your mind, brother?
San Diego.
I mean, San Diego. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what's on your mind?
No, I was just calling in to check in because I said I was going to call in last week, and I'm just grateful to be able to enjoy your broadcast, man, because it's well needed.
Okay, I don't quite recognize you here. I don't remember that with a skull cap. What did you need to call in for?
Oh, okay. Hey, go ahead and let somebody else call if they had the topic. I was just saying, hey,
No, sir. No, if I asked you to call in, what did I ask you to call in for?
You know what? To be honest with you, you said just calling. You gave me like a little number, it was a different number, but I had bought another phone. It was just crazy. But you basically told me to call in before, about a month or two ago, something like that. But it is what it is. But like I listened to you, I've been listening to you for like the last 3-4 years straight. Should have been listening a lot longer. But better late than nothing.
You should get a T-shirt. I know a 20-year-old young man can make one for you. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Y'all, did he really sit in the chat room months ago and I said you need to call up, and he calls me up a few months later? Is that really what just happened? Like, he's one of the people in the chat room that I said, hey, you need to call in on Zoom, and he's called me in here. That's what I was saying when he said better late than never. I'm like, I think I just figured all this out. Yes, that's your life slogan right there. That's your motto. Better late than never. I'm like, yeah. That's what I was saying. I know a young man who can make you the T-shirt. Damn! I'm not even going to hold you. Better late than never. And I know just the young man to make you the T-shirt. I know just the one. Yes, sir. We can make a side project right now. I know just the one to get that T-shirt for you. In any case, brothers and sisters from around the world, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. Everyone who came into 2025 with us did not make it into 2026. And everyone who made it into 2026 with us will not be making it in 2027 with us. But worst of all is if you do not have anything to contribute for the time that you are there. No matter what the year is, you should have something to contribute to it. You should have something to contribute to it. So I want you all to keep that in mind. That's supposed to be our mission. And this year, no excuses, people. That credit score you're saving, sitting on E, constant excuses. You complain about a 20-year-old, and meanwhile, you going on 40, 50, and your life's not any different at 40 or 50 than it was at 20, and you're not capable of doing anything. All this being helpless stuff year after year. No, people. Going forward, that's deaded. Seeing a bunch of names in here, by the way, that I have not seen in a while, by the way. So some of these folk here, I guess they only wanted to jump up here tonight. Oh, well, in any case, to all of my brothers and sisters from around the world here, it has been my honor to do these things with you here. I just made it a point that tonight I'd see us across that. So I think for the most part, we've covered most of the time zones at this point here. I think we've covered most of them now. Yeah, I think we got most of the times. I think we got all the time zones in America covered. So for those of you outside the states, good luck to you there. You'll need it. To the rest of you here, you know the mission. Be on your job. Be on your square. I want to thank everyone who has tuned in, everyone who has listened, everyone who uses what they're given. People, our salvation is not going to be given to us. Our salvation is going to have to be given by others. Our salvation is going to have to be given to us by ourselves. It's not going to be given to us by other people. We're going to have to work our way out of this. Make this the year that you stop giving excuses. I want to thank all of you for tuning in for all these years, live or recorded. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, all of my brothers, all of my sisters, all of my sons, and all of my daughters, from all of my nieces and all of my nephews, from all around the world, remember, Black is the future, and the future is no holiday.